Get ready for what's probably the greatest entertainment news talk show out of Austin, Texas. Get ready for everything entertainment news and talk. And now, here's your host, Clint Baker. What's up, gang? It's Clint. Welcome to Everything Entertainment News. I'm your host, Clint Baker. We are bringing you all of the greatest movie, TV, music, entertainment news, everything you want to talk about. That's right. And boy, I am excited to be here today. We've got some people in the chat. I want to say hi to you guys. Before we get into that, guys, please do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe, click. Woohoo! Boom! What is up?
There we are.
All right. Yeah, we got Michael Navarrete. We got Curtis. We've got Charlie Cox in the Oh, that's Matt Murdock. My bad. Man, it is good to have you guys here. How's it going there, gang?
Doing great. So happy to be here. Round of applause for our host.
Oh, yeah.
I guess.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Good. Yeah, good
How
job.
you doing, Curtis?
I'm all right, man. It's Friday, the final Friday of the school year, so I am a very happy man. We still got 4 days next week, but not Friday. Well, no, with no children. I got to go to work. But
You got vacation right around the corner. It's coming up.
yeah, I'm coming. It's
Oh,
coming.
yeah. Man, we got a hell of a show today. We're going to be talking about She-Hulk. We're going to watch the trailer. We're going to be talking a little bit about Loki, Daredevil, the League of Extraordinary. Who? What? What is that about? Paramount, Taika Waititi, John Watts, The Boys, The Predator, all kinds of crazy stuff that we're going to cover today. Man. Well, this is fun. Man, I stayed up. I've been rebranding the channel. Those of you who know me know I used to have the Black Shirt podcast, and then I went over to hang out with Small Screen for a while. For the past year, I've been on Small Screen having a great time. They decided they didn't want to stream on Fridays anymore, so here I am to carry the torch into the future. So I've made this Everything Entertainment News. So it's going to be EEN. I'll be doing other stuff under that under the Everything name, and the reason I went for that is because everybody knows. Hey, did you like that movie? No, it sucked. Hey, did you like that movie? No, it sucked. What about you, Clint? Oh, yeah, I thought it was great. Yeah, Clint likes everything. So, yeah, Clint likes everything is the name of the channel. It will be soon. And we got Everything Entertainment News. So, man, let's get into it. Well, let's say
It's a classic 3-letter news channel. I mean, you got MSN, you got CNN, you got
EEN.
you got AON or whatever that
AOL.
Yeah, AOL. You know,
EEN.
EEN.
And that's what we are. EEN.
EEN.
Ugh.
Everybody likes the EEN. You know.
EEN. It reminds me of Scene, which is what this channel will be. It'll be Scene.
It could be like as EEN on TV. You could do that, you know?
Yeah, dude, I dig it.
We're already working on it. We're already working on branding.
I dig it. Well, let's say hi to Bobby. We got Bobby in the house. You said not to ring the bell, but we're doing it. Yeah, super air horn for Bobby in the house.
No. She's fine with the bell. The air horn is what annoys her. The bell is fine.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Meow, meow,
There it
meow,
is.
meow.
All right. Well, cool. Well, let's get started. Anybody else in the chat before we get going? Want to say hello? Yeah. There's like a 20-second delay. Yeah, I want to just say thanks to Michael Navarrete for hanging out and joining us.
I'm happy to be here. I think it's the inaugural show. Is that correct? So it's like
Yeah.
I'm happy to be part of this new thing going on. This is stuff I do drunkenly at my house into the void anyway. So I'm happy to actually be having conversations with people about stuff I'd be talking about.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about that. I'm like, this is stuff that we would be talking about anyway. You know what I mean? So to get to do it with you guys, it makes it even more fun, you know?
Yeah, my cat doesn't often respond. I don't know if it's from boredom or lack of interest, but it's good to actually have a human conversation.
Or from being a cat.
Mm.
It's just
Uh-oh. Shots fired.
Yeah.
Shots
Well,
fired.
Not that it can't speak English, it's just that it's like I'm a cat, so I don't give a shit about anything, especially what you're saying.
Oh, that's, yeah, that makes that's actually
Well, let's get into the first topic, alrighty?
absolutely.
And the first topic is the first trailer for She-Hulk Attorney at Law ripped through 78 million views in the first 24 hours that the trailer was online Tuesday. That enormous viewership is the second largest debut from a Marvel Studios series, behind only 2021's The Falcon and Winter Soldier, which included a Super Bowl spot. The first look at the series, which stars Tatiana Maslany, spread through social media like wildfire, immediately becoming #1 trend on Twitter. This comes to us from The Hollywood Reporter. Oh man, Tatiana Maslany. I don't know if you guys watched Orphan Black or not, but that show rules. And as soon have you guys watched Orphan Black? Anybody?
I did not. What is it about?
It's a fantastic show. Tatiana Maslany is the lead actress in this show, and it's a show about clones. And this girl finds another girl that looks just like her, and who steps out in front of a train, and then she starts trying to figure out what's going on. She ends up picking up her wallet and the identity, and like she's kind of screwed up, so she starts just trying to take on this identity, and then other clones come out of the woodwork, and it's a crazy, kind of convoluted show, but
Seems like good. Yeah.
it's really cool because it starts unwinding this. It's like a giant onion of clones, and just the story starts.
It's like a thread on a sweater. You just start pulling
Clonian.
it.
Exactly,
Clonian.
Clonian. Exactly. But what's really impressive about this show is not necessarily the story, but it's Tatiana Maslany. She is awesome because she's got a kind of almost a Cockney, Brit, like London accent, and then like she'll have an American clone, and then a Russian who's like a serial killer, practically a psychopath Russian, and then some other European, and she's playing all these characters against herself and with different accents, and she's badass in all of them. And then she jumps into like a soccer mom role and is just amazing in all of them. So when I heard that they were going to use her for the Hulk, I was stoked because I've seen about everything she's got in her tool chest. She's like every
cover every angle at that point.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, hey, I could only imagine to be an actor and them say, hey, we decided to write in a Spanish version of you now, and she's like, oh crap.
Like,
okay, I already did the Mexican version. Now I have to how do I make them different? But no, seriously, like she's got like tough girl roles that she's done. She's got like sexy roles that she's done and all that. And then watching the trailer for She-Hulk, I saw her kind of use a couple of her like looks, like, hey, blah blah blah, like flirtiness. Sometimes
she's versatile actress.
Yeah, she'd need to like get in there and flirt her way into finding out what hotel room, and like go over and flirt with the hotel clerk. I saw little nuggets of what she has in her tool chest in the trailer, and I'm excited. But instead of just talking about
it was called Orphan Black.
Orphan Black.
Okay.
It's a fantastic show. It runs about, I think I watched 3 seasons of the show.
Orphan White, or as I like to call it, Spider-Man No Way Home.
I thought Orphan Black was Batman. Is what I thought.
That's also Orphan White. That's Orphan White privilege. That's what that is.
I
So
see what you did there.
When she was when she was the American clone, was she leisurely walking, and then whenever she was chasing after somebody, was she the Russian clone?
Oh, come on, man! No. Okay.
Can we get a dad joke bell as well?
You got this.
Dad joke.
Yep, there you go. All right. Well, let's well, I tell you what, there's been a lot of different reactions to this trailer. We're going to talk about them in just a second, but we're going to talk over the trailer right now and make jokes and try to enjoy it and have fun at the same time. So here is a little reaction video, real time.
Live react.
You ready, gang?
Very excited.
Like, sure, Scoob, let's go.
Is a trial by fire. Who's gonna protect the world if not people like you?
Jennifer Walters. I'm a lawyer. I have great friends.
Can we get some shots, please? It's an emergency.
A demanding job.
We just started a superhuman law division, and I want you to be the face of it.
And a
Yeah, I thought
frustrating
that was Purple
family.
Man at first.
Cause
Thank you
we
for
didn't ask for
correcting me.
this, but you still got to deal with it. Your transformations are triggered by anger and fear.
Those are like the baseline of any woman just existing.
Oh.
Bruce, kind of feels like if I don't transform, I'm gonna die.
Yes, yes, yes. No, no.
I just want to be a normal, anonymous lawyer.
Can you tell us where She-Hulk is?
Jen, you're a story now.
Girl, your ass looks crazy right now. You could be an Avenger.
Oh, I'm not a superhero. That is for billionaires and narcissists and adult orphans for some reason.
Hold your joke.
Is there anything more depressing than dating in your 30s?
Yeah, this is the best date I've had in a while.
Oh,
Should we split some fries?
let's get those to go.
Gate, I want to say my biggest issue with the trailer.
Hold on. Hey there, we got a guest appearance there. There you go. That was the She-Hulk trailer. That was wild. It's kind of an Ally McBeal Sex and the City take on a superhero show. It's going to be a procedural law show. I mean, I'm pretty hyped on it. I have my complaints, but let's hear Michael, what do you think about it?
My biggest issue.
You're chomping at the bit. I'll let you take it and run.
Right out of the gate, my biggest issue. Everyone knows you don't take fries to go. That's the worst thing to take. They're not going to be good when you get to the house. I mean, yeah, come on. I mean, I don't think they're eating those fries. That's all I'm saying.
Fries to go. I see what you did there.
Like a slice of cheesecake, something that's a little better for, but I do want to bring that up. That's going to segue into this other part where I'm glad to see that the MCU is branching into the fact that these people might have interests. They might be, it's sexualized. Like she is there.
Yeah.
It's into it. Like finally, they're not going to be so vanilla, Let this lady get it. She was swiping on. I have a friend who does the exact same thing. She swipe, right. She was just going for it. I love it. I love to see it. I love the empowerment of it going on, but once again, fries to go. We know better.
Yeah, I saw some reactions online that were all over the place, and a lot of people I think are like, "No, I want it to be a superhero show," and like the idea of like Ally McBeal, like those shows are fun and they're funny and they're mixing genres, and I think that's cool, man. I think it's cool. Like, hey, let's have a horror genre. Let's have I thought Moon Knight was going to be a noir kind of, it was a cold, dark night, but it turned out to be something else. But still, I like the idea of them delving into different flavors of shows instead of everything being like Endgame. You know what I mean? Like, give us some different stuff, and that's what they're doing. Curtis, what do you think, man?
I am super excited, and I showed Wifey right when you sent this to me. She's a huge She-Hulk fan. I got her into She-Hulk, but like that. That's what got her into comics, huh?
Do you feel like it holds the way the comics are? Like it's kind of representing it. The comics are. Like...
It looks like it's going to be. It really it does. I mean, who knows? I thought they were going to do that with Moon Knight, and then that was a big wash, but. Like it really looks like it's going to be. If you haven't read She-Hulk, it is like it's a comedy. She does superhero stuff for sure, but it's like a comedy procedural like thing, and it's more of a law comic than it is a superhero comic. Of course, depending on there's tons of different issues. She's a great character. Like I'm so glad they're finally bringing her to the screen. She was, I don't know about the first, but definitely even before Deadpool, she broke the fourth wall in comics. Like she would be fighting through other pages, and there'd be ads and stuff in the comics and stuff like that, and they're like ripping through pages, and she'd be talking to the camera or the whatever it is in comics.
Didn't she used to talk to like the editor and the writers and stuff? Like, hey, why didn't you draw me like this and stuff?
And she's exactly, and she's such a great character. And like this is, it seems like it's kind of, you know, how it's going to be in some of the better She-Hulk comics. Like and I do, like you're saying, I like how they branch out. You know, I like how they're doing more with it, because that's part of her character. Like she, you know, doesn't want to be a superhero, but you know, if you got superpowers, it kind of goes with the job. Either that or supervillain, you know. So, and you know, she's, yeah.
What did you guys think of the CGI? I heard a lot of complaints about the CGI online. People are like, man, I mean, it is a trailer, so maybe they're still working on it.
I think we're 3 months out still. I think, you know, I think we can't make any kind of judgment until we see the final product. I mean,
yeah.
you know, these people are still working for sure. And I think the MCU is at its best when it blends genres. I mean, you had Winter Soldier, that was like a 70s, you know, thriller throwback.
Yeah.
Anytime the MCU blends like genre and not just like a copy paste, that's when the movies or the shows are at their best. And so if this is going to go like a, you know, like a case of the week, kind of like an Ally McBeal, kind of like a lost show, you know, that I think that's when we're going to get our best, you know, product from what we want to see. You know, I want to see that it's like, oh, what are we doing this week? Or, you know, oh, who's showing up? Like, it doesn't always have to be, you know, this huge overarching thing, but I'm excited for it. I'm pretty pumped.
I'm super fired up for the show. I talked about whenever on the Book of Boba Fett we had Luke come in, and they didn't even use Mark Hamill. They had somebody else act it, and they used the.
I thought he was on set, was he not?
He was on as a during the Mandalorian. During that one, he might have been on as a reference, but this last one he didn't even do it. And they used a re-speecher, which is a program that can make a profile of your voice, and then they could make a profile of my voice, and you could come on here and talk, and it's my voice, and then if you then you take deepfake technology on top of that, they put my face on you, which would basically make me. But I would be funnier because it would be you talking, but you would look and sound like me. So, but no, like, so that's what they did with him. But the thing I was saying is I was talking about the Uncanny Valley. Uncanny Valley, for those who don't know, is there's an area between things looking fake and looking real. And if it almost looks real, then it kind of makes people uncomfortable. It messes with people's brains.
It's like the Polar Express, the entire movie.
Yes.
It's just like
if it looks fake, and Hulk, and I heard somebody else talking about this, but Hulk is over the top, huge, looks fake. It's cool. Abomination looks fake, so it's cool. But then you have this woman that who's hulked up a little, but not quite as huge and over the top as Hulk. So she kind of looks like a bodybuilder woman with green skin. And so that might be why some people are thinking, oh, that looks terrible. It's because it almost looks real, and that's the Uncanny Valley. It's messing with people's perception of what it is. I don't know, man. I mean, like, some of how smooth she is, like she looks like that in the comics, though, right, Curtis? I mean, she's like you're talking about cheesecake.
Yeah, like they definitely cheesecake it up. I'm glad that, like, because in a lot of the comics she just wears a bathing suit, like so. Like, I'm glad they didn't necessarily do that. Well, fair enough, you know. And I wonder, there's got to be a body double for her though, because some of it looked.
But she's short. She's tiny. She's not.
No. But I mean, that's what I mean. Like for when she is She-Hulk, like a spray painted body double for some scenes. Because some of it, I don't necessarily notice that as much. Maybe I do need to get my eyes checked this, you know, summer on. But like I didn't. Yeah, it's just, you know, the way it goes. But like some of those scenes looked really good, muscle tone wise and stuff like that, structure wise. And it looked like they could have gotten a female bodybuilder to as a fill-in for those parts. It's just like the ones where she's carrying the guy and the other movements and stuff. You can, you know, like, it's noticeable, but it didn't bother me. Some people are freaking out. First,
go ahead.
It's a TV show. Well, first off, it's a TV show. Second of all, it doesn't look that bad. And third, you know, like, this is an unknown character, just like Moon Knight. So how much money are they going to dump into it?
I mean,
I think it's going to be a hit.
I mean, they got tons of Disney.
Well, of course, yeah, they got, you know, they do, but
it's the most watched trailer of all Marvel trailers now. It's everyone's excited. And so I think it's a female hero character. Then people are digging it. She's a strong female character, but she's strong, and like the guys are like, yeah, She-Hulk, and the ladies are like, yeah, carry that guy to bed. You know what I mean? Like, if she's independent, she wants to get on Twitter, she'd do what she wants. She's She-Hulk. So it's just like everybody wins. Like, we need shots. All of the Sex and the City humor, you know what I mean, is going to be in there. It's like it hits all the bases, and it's all over. And the other thing too is like, every magazine's going to want to write about this. If you're a women's magazine, if you're a men's magazine, a comic nerd, everything.
Magazine,
yeah.
And Monster Mommies are in, by the way. You know, we got the lady from Resident Evil Village that just came out. You know, everybody's like, you know, Lady Damascus, I think. Everybody's getting chased around by her in the game, and they're like, catch me, please. And now this lady's coming out. She's looking great. They're all looking good. People are like, you know what? Maybe it's our turn to get walked through the threshold. You know, pick me up. Take me to the bedroom. I think it's in. Like I said, I'm pumped for it. Any kind of any genre bending that this anything to keep it fresh, please let it happen for the MCU. I mean, I'm all about it.
I'm loving it. I'm super pumped. I can't wait. So besides Obi-Wan, I'm like the most pumped about this more than a lot of stuff right now. So I'm really excited. So I can't wait. What do you guys at home think about this trailer? Did you like it? How do you feel about the tone? Do you like the tone, the fun tone of it? Do you like the way She-Hulk looks? Do you think it looks bad? Do you think it looks great? People are a bunch of crybabies. How does your excitement rank on this show versus other shows?
Well,
these are all the questions I've been asking, but let us know in the comments because we want to know what you're thinking. What were you going to say, Michael?
More excited for it's like that meme that were like the skeletons at the bottom of the pool. Because it's like, are we more excited for She-Hulk right now or Ms. Marvel coming out, which we're getting in like 2 weeks, right? Ms. Marvel is coming out, and
oh yeah,
and now like
no,
dropped, and everybody's kind of like, oh,
I don't know if
forgotten about it.
I don't know if I'm more excited for Natalie Portman Thor or She-Hulk. It's hard to keep track. This is getting ridiculous.
Natalie Portman Thor, Monster Mommies. I'm telling you right now.
What do you guys at home think? Let us know in the comments because we want to know what you think. All right, well, let's talk to the chat. Yes, sir. Let's see. How we doing down here in the chat? We got, dude, what's the final CGI? Dude, if it's the final CGI, I'm okay with if we get full She-Hulk instead of just one scene at the end of the series, I'll take it. I agree with you, man. Yeah, if you like, I want it to look fantastic and just see very little She-Hulk, or would I rather have like 60% quality and see She-Hulk the whole show? I'd take more She-Hulk.
She-Hulk all day. You don't want it to be like all the other shows, like, you know, the Netflix shows at first were very notorious for being like, the last episode they're gonna put on the costume, you know, like I don't want to watch 6 episodes and then see She-Hulk. I just think, I take 60% good looking to emphasize what we're here to see. We're here to see She-Hulk. That's the name of the show.
Mike brings up a good point too, because like that's one thing that I'm super excited for. I love this character. My wife loves this character. Like, this was a bonding thing before we got married. Like, oh, I'm a comic book fan, and I got her into this and Alias and like Emma Frost and stuff like that. And we could, share this little niche together. So She-Hulk's a big deal for me. But I was super excited for Moon Knight too, and I don't want Marvel to piss away this opportunity with this brand new character the way they did with Moon Knight. Now, Moon Knight was a hit and all that stuff like that, but for a comic book fan, it wasn't damn Moon Knight. But so I'm super excited for it. I just don't want them to let me down again. Like, they've been letting me down with so many shows. Like, and it's kind of like, Mike's saying, like, it'll be like the climax or the rising actions hits at like episode 4 or 5 out of a 6-episode series, and it's like, well, okay, well, you got me ready for season 2, but like the whole season was just this building thing. Like, like,
yeah, give me She-Hulk episode 1. Like, let's go. Like, yeah, that's what we're here for.
Moon Knight definitely needed 2 more episodes. I'm with you on that. I was like, come on, what the hell? Like,
yeah,
it was like, it was too short. I still enjoyed the hell out of it because I like everything, but like, but still, I could have used a little more Moon Knight.
Agreed. Definitely a masterclass by Oscar Isaac in that show. I mean, he was doing great, but right when it was there, they're like, "See ya," and it was like, "But what?"
That's like Stranger Things. Supposed to have a lot of episodes and long episodes, like you were saying earlier.
Movie-length episodes.
So I was like, dude, they're learning something from this. Here, I'm gonna do
Hey,
this.
Clint, turn my mic down a little bit, please, sir.
Turn
Apparently.
it down.
Apparently, yeah.
Okay, and yours, if you don't talk into it, like if you're over here, it's not gonna hear you.
Okay,
because I have a gate on that to where so that they can't hear the air conditioner that's blowing in here. So so we can get a little tech talk for you guys out there. And Matt, we can't hear you at all. If you could turn your mic up, that'd be great.
I don't even see a microphone in the shot.
Yeah. Jedi Master EJ, what's up,
dude? He's blind.
Dude?
He can't talk.
It's his wife. It's his wife's birthday. We're out having dinner. I'll jump back on when you get back home. Happy birthday to you or to the wifey and
happy birthday.
Hell yeah.
Wifey J.
Trick the robots. Sing the happy birthday song.
Guest mic's low. Curtis mic's louder than loud. Curtis mic 2 times louder than Clint. What a catastrophe we're having here. Well, that means we're gonna turn this up and not turn Curtis up. We're gonna turn you and I.
I'm a teacher, guys. It's not the mic. You have to project to reach all the sleeping children and wake them wildly while you're teaching math.
There we go.
You have to do something to keep them entertained with all these phones these days.
Yep.
Kids and their phones.
Dude, I don't see us at all. There we go.
Are we good? We're back.
Yeah, now we're back. We shut Curtis up for a minute. Turned us up.
We hardly knew you.
Yeah. All right, Curtis, talk to me.
Hello, beautiful.
Oh, we got lag to go into. All right, this is fun. Okay, great. Is that a little better there, gang?
You asking us or the chat?
Yeah. How we doing there? All right. Cool. Big gulps, huh?
Big gulps, huh? Dumb and Dumber reference. Anytime. It's my favorite line of the whole movie. That's hilarious. Big gulps, huh?
Neat. See you later.
See you later. You know, I don't think, if we're going to go to the trailer, just a little bit more, though. I think we did get to see the villain in that trailer, if you notice real quick, with Titania. You're a fan, Curtis, you're a fan of the comic.
Titania, yeah.
Titania
yeah. I didn't notice her in there.
She is being played by the lady from The Good Place. I don't know the actress name. I think it's right here. Is it?
Is he still low?
Can you hear me? Am I here?
There you go.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
She's being played by. No, I don't see her up there. Maybe she's not billed.
She's in there. I don't know. I think this is just Google's sucking at their.
I think she's the main villain of the thing. Maybe they're trying to keep it in the wraps, whatnot. But
yeah, Titania is definitely her main villain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know that she is making an appearance in the show. That she is, I think, like going to be the main focus, I guess, or the main villain of the series. So
yeah.
But I'd love to see Case of the Week too. I'd love to see her tackling, a different thing.
That's what I want. I want Case of the Week. Because that's how it was in the comics. There'd be some overarching ones, like she'd have a big case, and then like each one's like it'd be like a supervillain suing a superhero because he used too much force. Like, he beat the hell out of me, and I was just stealing some diamonds, and stuff like that. And but there would be a big overarching case. And what's good, which we'll talk about a little bit later, obviously Daredevil's coming back. He is a huge crossover for She-Hulk in her series because obviously Matt Murdock. Go ahead, Matt. Oh wait, he's blind. Is he's a lawyer, so it's like it's gonna, if they do Case of the Week, it's gonna be great. I'm sure the first two are gonna be her getting the job and like getting the powers and stuff like that.
But yeah, that's great. It's like episode 1, just like, let's knock that out. Let's get the Hulk thing going. Like, I don't need 4 episodes of like figuring that out. I'm ready to get in there and hit the ground running. Like, you have to give the fans a little bit of kudos to be like, we know who this is. We're ready for the action.
We don't need a 6-hour origin story like we had with Moon Knight.
Sure we do. Yeah, we do.
I hate to keep harping on that, but like,
No, you don't.
Real.
When have you
Moon
ever
Knight
walked out of a
hater.
comic book movie? I love Moon Knight. That's the problem.
So
Like we walked out of a comic movie and been like, you know what? That was good. But if the origin story was just 5.5 hours longer,
that's what
then
I
it would have
needed.
been a good movie.
It's
You know,
tough to
like-
walk out of a superhero TV show because then you're just outside. You just literally left your house. You're like, oh, I'm walking out of this show.
Curtis, quit picking on Moon Knight, man.
I don't want to. I really
Yeah, you do.
don't
You're
want to,
picking
man.
on Moon Knight.
I wanted
Cut
to
it
love
out.
it so much.
Finally.
I have
Cut it
almost
out.
a complete run of Moon Knight, sir. I love Moon Knight, but I didn't. They said it was supposed to be Fight Club mixed with Indiana Jones. It was more like the Odd Couple mixed with Indiana Jones. Like it was just like ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Steve and Mark, and Steve.
They did have a little
And
trouble with
some
tone. I will give you that. They're like,
And then like, you know, well, we got some extra time. It's supposed to be 45 minutes. Well, first let's make the credits 10 minutes long, and then second, let's put in like 3 minutes of Moon Knight.
yeah. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yep.
But I think everyone's a go for She-Hulk, though, right? Thumbs up all around for this.
Dude, I'm
ready. I'm excited.
hell yeah. Well, let's.
Did we notice the cage was the same cage we saw in Shang-Chi when Wong and Abomination were fighting?
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, because like remember when he's leaving the locker room and it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If you in Shang-Chi, if you look in the background when they're going into the portal, it's that same red cage from She-Hulk where they're going back to. So
I did not even notice that.
MCU.
So it's his
Continuity.
work release program.
Probably, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, Wong. I don't put Wong could barely afford that sandwich in Infinity War, so I wouldn't put it aside that he's making a couple extra bucks on it. So, yeah.
I've
True that.
heard. I think Wong's supposed to show up in She-Hulk.
That's what I heard too. Yeah,
Yeah.
He's supposed to be in the show.
He's
as
like
well.
showing up everywhere. They're like, dude, everybody loves this guy.
He's the new.
Let's
he's
give
the new
him-
Stan Lee.
Yeah, let's give him all the work.
He's a Sorcerer
That's-
Supreme. So
That's another thing. I don't have the story up, but it'll make for some interesting conversation. Marvel just licensed the rights to use Stan Lee's likeness.
saw that.
So there's
I don't
there's
like that.
so it could just mean hey, just having his photo in a movie poster in the background. It could also be like they have a like Luke Skywalker in where they
I
have
don't
him
want that.
selling a hot dog and he's like, hey, you want some extra mustard with that? These teenagers, whatever, that would sound more like Gilbert Gottfried, but no, like
it was close.
yeah.
It was close. It was a really good
Yeah.
one. I liked it.
but I mean, they could do that. But then I was talking about this, and then I started thinking about how much Stan Lee likes. He's kind of an outgoing guy. He likes having his face everywhere. He likes meeting
He
the
would
fans.
be for it.
He would be like, wait, you're gonna keep using my likeness? I think he would be all about it. If it's like, it's a different thing. Like they were gonna do a James Dean movie where they were gonna like all deep fake and using a guy's likeness that's been dead for years. It might be like, hey, check out this technology, and it actually be a disaster because we're gonna be picking holes in that movie the whole time,
Right.
of how fake it looked, or. Well, anyway, but with Stan Lee, I think he would actually. I don't think it's that creepy with him.
He
'Cause-
would love it. He would.
Yeah,
He'd be like, "Hey, I'm dead. Excelsior!" Like,
Yeah,
he's-
exactly.
I 100% think that he'd be so on board with that.
I'm dead. Oh, these. Look, you have two kids on a date. Look at those two. So adorable.
Oh, it's crazy.
I'm
a,
dead.
I'm a ghost.
I'm dead. Excelsior.
Hey, can you plug me in with those women over there? All right,
Yeah.
I'm Stan Lee. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
look, there he is doing his thing. I love him.
You wouldn't want that, Curtis? Like to see a
I
cameo
would
of
no, because it's not a cameo. It's not a cameo.
It's like
it's kind
one
of a
of
cameo.
those tours of
No,
haunted
it's
hotels.
not a cameo.
But what about
no.
but what about Luke Skywalker? They're not even using Luke. They're
Then
using
that wasn't a cameo either. Like whenever he was actually there, that's a cameo.
Yeah,
Even
what
if
if they
did,
cast
like if he actually did the part and then did some stuff, and that's fine.
Mark
but-
Hamill's like, I'm not dead yet. I'm right here.
What if they cast somebody to be Stan Lee?
Sebastian Stan all day.
Sebastian Stan Lee.
Oh, hey,
yeah,
full
hey-o.
circle. There we go.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
I
love it.
Bobby says she missed
I
him in Moon Knight. She would have liked to seen a picture on the wall. I would have liked to seen like one of the Egyptian gods avatars was Stan Lee in deep fake technology.
Same with the glasses.
Yeah, Excelsior. No, it's fucking
I'm an
great.
Egyptian god
That's
now.
what I mean.
Look
Like
at me go.
if they're using like like if they're just using his picture or something like on the like you were saying, a poster where it's like support your president or something, and it's got Stan back there, or something like that. Like it would be or something that is great. Like there in one of the Marvel comics, when they get to the God of Gods, all of the gods, and there's gods and gods and gods and
Right,
gods
right.
and gods, but they get to the God of the Gods, and it's basically meant to be Jack Kirby.
Right.
It'd be cool. Like it'd actually be cool if they did that with Jack instead of Stan, but but it's not a cameo. It's just cashing in on an old gag. It's not,
Or it's
like,
or it's a nod.
Yeah,
It's if they're already cashing in, they're making all the money. It's like at that point it's a nod. They're like, hey, we have the technology to do this now. So
it's
No,
not
they
a cameo. Then why don't they we could put John Wayne in there. Buy his rights, stick him in there.
You could.
Is it a John Wayne cameo?
Now we're
it's not
talking.
a John Wayne cameo.
I mean, I'm
Like,
all for it, but at the same time, John Wayne didn't show up in all of the Marvel movies and write half of the
but
characters.
My point being, though, that it's not a cameo. It doesn't hold any weight.
Well, you can call it
Like,
whatever you want. You don't have to call it a cameo. You can call it an appearance, a likeness appearance.
We call it a haunting.
A haunting. There you go. Yeah.
So you're
but-
right. You can
but-
call it whatever you want, and I would call it like a cash grab.
Look,
or
they're
like
putting the
like
money-
A,
they
like it's
literally-
a cheap trick.
They're
Like
literally just shoveling cash into the grave. So
Yeah.
they're giving it right to
That's
him. He's
really
still-
all
he
they're
gets
doing
to
because
keep it, you
they
know?
don't need to put him in these movies. They're already making all the money. They're just
but
licensed him.
there's
They
so many other
licensed him,
creators,
and now his kids get the money. Go ahead. There's so many creators.
there are so many other creators now that Stan's gone that they could take that money instead of using his likeness and pay them to make actual cameos in the movies. Like
I
Tom
like that.
DeFalco, like
Yeah.
that was on small screen and stuff. Like there's even Kirby's gone. Like, but there are some of these guys are still kicking around out there, and
Yeah.
you can get these people to do cameos, and comic book nerds will notice it. Like,
And actually give
you know.
them the money. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
that's good.
because
I like that.
because they're billions and billions of dollars on this industry, and their dads were sweating their asses off trying to meet deadlines for this stuff. That and we, they've talking to DeFalco. He was like, I never would have thought this would be $1 billion. Like, no, he's like, God, no, this would not. No way. Like, this was just if we made it to the next month, we were going to be all right.
Right.
Like, and
I do believe the name
their
of the-
families deserve the money.
I do believe the name of the hospital in Moon Knight, the end credit sequence,
Yep.
was named after one of the artists for the comic book.
Yes.
So there's little nods like that for sure.
They-
And hopefully they
yeah,
gave that
but-
guy money for putting his name
And
on something.
They asked him. They said, "Would you be offended if we used your name on the mental hospital?"
Was
And he
like,
said, "I would be offended if you didn't use my name
Yeah.
on it." Was
But
his
also,
response.
Well, I didn't
how about
notice
some
it.
of
What
that
was
money?
Well, let's move on to the next topic. Here we go. We got a little Loki action. So let's talk about that. Kevin Feige revealed that Loki was the most watched Marvel series on Disney Plus to date. Feige said that Loki was a bold swing and the wild ride paid off. He added that as the first Marvel series on Disney Plus to get a second season, production on the sophomore run will start in the next few weeks with Tom Hiddleston and the entire cast returning. This comes to us from Deadline. Holy smokes! Are you surprised that Loki is the most watched show on Disney Plus? How do you think Loki stacks up against other MCU shows? What's your Marvel favorite series?
Well, I
There's
think
so many questions to ask.
Loki's a huge fan favorite. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that's why they kept coming around because whatever Tom Hiddleston, he originally auditioned for Thor, so he was. I mean, you can go on YouTube and find the video of him auditioning to be Thor, and then he gets this role as Loki, and then he becomes just beloved by all the fans. So
Nailed it.
honestly, when you look at it that way, I don't think it's too much of a surprise thing. Everyone was pretty excited to see him come back. It was heart-wrenching, spoiler alert, in Infinity War when, he went down. Those comic books, they find a way to bring people back, though.
Spoiler alert.
In case no one's seen that movie yet.
Just kidding.
Heads up for people.
No spoilers, guys. Come on.
But he loves that role. You can see it in every fiber of his being. Like, he embodies it. He loves the fans. He loves the opportunities it's given him. And you think you're bringing Owen Wilson around? He didn't say wow once the whole show. Wow. And so I think upon looking back at it, I think it was probably most anticipated.
Jet skis.
It was so great.
Yeah.
Man, can't wait for season 2. But I think it makes sense with hindsight for sure that everybody tuned in for that one.
I like Sophia DiMartino. She was amazing. Like
Sylvie, right?
Sylvie. Yeah. It's Sophie, I thought, isn't it?
Oh no, I mean the character.
The character,
Yeah,
Sylvie,
Sylvie,
yeah. So Sophie, you're not supposed to point at the thing because that ruins the
Oh, sorry, I was
illusion.
supposed
The
to point at it.
illusion that we know
I was just-
stuff. Yeah, like now they
No,
know that I
she's-
can see all the stuff. No, but Sophie
She's just
DiMartino
in
plays.
the room with us. She's just over there, on the
Wait,
in the
guess-
green room.
Guest spot.
Yeah, she's she's fantastic in that show, and like just the chemistry between them, the chemistry between Owen Wilson and Loki, it's fantastic. I really like that show, and I heard people complaining about different things with that show, but the best thing, one of my favorite things in all of the Marvel shows was when Richard E. Grant, classic Loki, is like, and it's like bum 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 bum. I forgot what he's unbearable purpose, purpose,
Yeah.
Unreachable purpose,
Unburdenable?
unburdenable purpose. I can't remember the quote, but it's like the wind is flying and he's like saving the day. He's the savior of the show, and like unlimitless purpose. What the hell? Somebody in the chat help me out here.
It's the same thing Loki says when he shows up. And, I'm burdened by glorious purpose.
Glorious purpose.
Perfect. Yeah,
that's what it was.
yeah.
Glorious purpose, and it's the best thing ever. And he saves the day at the end. He is amazing, and he was just a little cameo, really, in that show. But I really enjoyed that show, and I can't wait for season 2.
Well, the variants made that show too. Like when they got to the other, Loki Dial, Crocoki, however you want to call him.
Crocodile Loki was awesome.
That's the spinoff I'm waiting for. I'm watching an entire series of Kid Loki and that Loki Dial running around town. I'm all about it's like, oh, why is he here? And they're like, he ate the neighbor's cat. It's like they just sniffed that timeline. But that was variants done right. It was like that gave us everything. It was like there was some that looked like Tom Hiddleston. There was this, this huge black guy who was like stole Thor's hammer and it was his own thing going on. And there was like a little frog Thor cameo when they were going underground, and there was the Thanos copter in that show. There was a giant Yellow Jacket helmet at some point, which means that Yellow Jacket had become Giant Man, and they had to snip that timeline. And just all these options and directions that things could have gone. There was a little more madness in that show than there was in the literal movie called Multiverse of Madness.
There really was. And then Jonathan Majors at the end, like coming in as Kang, it's like, he's fantastic.
Inspired choices he made as an actor too. I loved it.
Yeah, he was like wacky and weird, and I was like, dude, if you were trapped in this little room for an eternity, you would be kind of weird too.
Yeah, you're gone crazy.
You kind of could see that, and I was thinking, man, as an actor, he's really considered that. He's like, hey, this guy doesn't really care about death. Doesn't really care about certain things. There's certain things motivations that a person would have that he doesn't have, and other motivations that he has that other people wouldn't have because he's like limitless time in this room. It's crazy. Like I was really impressed with Jonathan Majors in that role. I can't wait to see him as Kang in.
I think Quantumania is the next appearance.
Yeah, and Ant-Man. Yeah, exactly. He's going to be awesome. But everybody in this is good. I can't wait. I'm glad they're doing another season of this. Curtis, what did you think of Loki? Like some people thought it was kind of convoluted and hard to follow. I thought it was cool. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, this was probably the one that I'm most excited for season 2 of. it doesn't surprise me necessarily that it was the most watched. Like we talked about Loki. Like if you think about it, he was the only real star in a show. I mean, Falcon and Winter Soldier, they're cool, but they weren't like heavy hitters. Hawkeye, fine. Moon Knight, was good. Should have been great. Wanda,
Sneaking in that Moon Knight jab.
like she's now she's going to be. Now Wanda's going to be a different story, but at the time, not really. I am kind of surprised that it didn't beat, or that What If didn't beat it. What If's animated. I'm and it's kind of like a entry point for any of these shows. So I'm kind of a little bit surprised that What If didn't beat it. I wonder if they separated live action and animated, but it was just a damn good show, and it's like I'm more excited for season 2 of this than I don't know.
And you're right with
any
the
other
star power.
show. Any other show.
Star power. Owen Wilson. You know, Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
That's the biggest.
Yeah.
You got A-listers in this show. That there's a reason to tune in. So.
And I mean, just Loki in general. Like he is just such a perfect character. Like from mythology up to now, like he's just such a great, perfect character. Like, he and Hiddleston nailed it. So you can't ask for a better. If you're going to be typecast as Loki. Damn it.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
It all boils down to characters, likable characters, and Loki's a likable character. Sylvie's a likable character. Owen Wilson as Mobius, not Morbius, Mobius. He's a likable character. You just like him, and you start rooting for the character. So I mean, it was a home run. The casting was fantastic.
And the big guard, what was her name? I can't remember. But you remember the big black lady guard? She was just so awesome.
Yeah.
And she ended up helping him at the end.
Wunmi Mosaka,
Hunter B-15.
Yeah.
She was awesome.
She just nailed it, and I mean everybody, and it for those if you gave up on it, it's kind of like a little bit of a slow burn at the beginning. Like it doesn't just hit you with action. It's a thinker. But it kicks in, but it's not in the other way that the other Marvel shows have done. It's a full, solid story arc, in my opinion.
I thought that at the time, if I had the ability to binge that show, that I would have liked it even more.
Yeah, I agree.
But
totally.
on the other, but it's a weird situation to be in, where it's like you want to binge watch a show, but you also like to think about the show all week and see what's going to happen. So it's like when you binge watch a show, you don't have all week while you're washing dishes or stuck in traffic to daydream about who is the big bad or what's going to happen or what mystery character is going to get sucked into the show. So I do like that about this show.
I think it would be a little detrimental sometimes too, though, because I mean, more so than anyone, Marvel fans, their theories and running rampant and all this stuff, and they have all week to be anticipating this next episode, how crazy Mephisto's going to finally show up, because we think it's going to show up and everything.
Mephisto!
And then that episode comes and it goes, and then you're like, you built up this idea of what it might be, and then it's not. I think a show like Loki might have benefited from putting them all out there just so you could just watch it go down. So you're not building up almost an unreal expectation of it. Because once again, all the places they visited, the different planets, the different timelines, the different universe was so, they were no holds bar with it. There's the one planet where it's going to get destroyed. There was the place at the end of time. There was that she was hiding out in so that she couldn't be tracked by the TVA.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
she was hiding in catastrophes.
Yeah,
so that because
finish. Sorry,
it ends. Yeah. No, I'm not trying to interrupt you. I'm just trying to help your point. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, for sure. No, I just wanted to make sure we both were right there. But it got to use the multiverse like I wanted to see it. It's like you have an infinite possibility of being as ridiculous as you want to, and I think Loki really nailed that look and that feel of that scenario. So,
man, I hate when you guys fight. I hate it. I hate it.
Well, it's not your fault. It's not you.
What do you guys at home think? What's your favorite Marvel series? Were you one of the people that watched Loki a lot? Are you? Are you one of those people? And speaking of shows that people love, check this out. A new Daredevil series is moving forward at Disney+. Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio have appeared in recent Marvel projects. Cox once again played Matt Murdock in the film Spider-Man No Way Home, while D'Onofrio reprised the role of Wilson Fisk in the Disney+ series Hawkeye. It now appears that the project is picking up steam with the hiring of Corman and Ord, although Marvel has yet to announce anything regarding the show formally. This comes to us from Variety. Oh, man. Oh, man. Guys, we finally are getting Daredevil. I mean, we kind of knew. We've had enough cameos or appearances, Curtis, of Charlie Cox in Spider-Man No Way Home. We saw Kingpin in Hawkeye. We've known this is going to happen, but people are like, I don't know, this is a different Matt Murdock. This is a different version. I can't wait to see what's going to happen because I want Jessica Jones in the MCU. I'll just say that. I love Jessica Jones. I think she's great. I would love to see Trinity. What's Trinity, the lawyer? What's that actress's name? I can't think of her name. Right
Trinity, the lawyer from
Trinity from The Matrix.
Oh,
is the lawyer?
About not Carrie.
Carrie Moss. Carrie Ann Moss. Carrie Ann Moss. I want to see her show up and maybe show up in the She-Hulk show. Maybe there's some kind of courtrooms thing and you see Matt Murdock show up. I want Foggy. I want him to show up. I like all of them. I liked all of those people. So I would really, really like to see all of the cast pop in there. Iron Fist?
No, get him out of there.
Yeah, I don't need to see Iron Fist.
I think he died in a car accident.
Poor guy.
Off screen.
Poor guy. I feel bad for that guy. That guy's like the Nickelback of like like Marvel shows. It's like people. It's like the easy joke. Like you make a Nickelback joke, you're not very good at making jokes. Like if that's where you have to go, it's like, come on, man, that's been done. And I feel like at this point, it's like just like, okay, dude, is that the best you could do? An Iron Fist joke? Poor guy. They didn't even train the guy. He just went in with no martial arts training and had to play Iron Fist. That's ridiculous. So ridiculous.
I think it's so funny that Marvel fans are so surprised, or people in general are so surprised. The Iron Fist show didn't make it. Iron Fist has never been popular. This has never been a thing. He's had good runs on and off, like when he was with Cage and stuff. And I think that's what they're trying to recreate. Iron Fist and Power Man. But nobody was ever clamoring for more Iron Fist. Like there was never this was not.
That's true, but I mean, absolutely correct.
You are absolutely correct. But let's get back on Daredevil. Like Karen, I'd like to see Karen in the show.
I want to see her in anything at Deborah Ann Wolf.
Yeah, that's all of those characters in that show. Like I like not too long ago, Curtis was like, "Yeah, I never watched that show." I'm like, "What?" And I turned
any of the Netflix shows, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, he's like, yeah, I just didn't.
It's
I'm like, dude, it's fantastic. And there's a lot of people that are worried that because this is going to be Disney, that it's going to be toned down and not as good. And I
am one of those people.
Yeah, we saw Vincent D'Onofrio wearing a fucking Hawaiian shirt the other day, at the end on the Hawkeye, and like. I'm like, what? It was like, this is like cruise ship Kingpin? Like, what's going on? And so I wonder if this is going to be toned down or not. This has been a big wonder. But what I will say is a lot of people are forgetting. People like to worry about Marvel or about the MCU. People right now like to say, hey, Phase 4 sucks. Nothing's as good anymore. Yeah, exactly.
It's comic accurate. It's a comic accurate shirt for Kingpin.
Yeah. He just pulled up a Hawaiian shirt, Kingpin. Yeah.
Right there,
yeah. And so people are like, meh, I want to complain about Marvel. That's what I want to do. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, come on, guys. That is a classic thing for people to do. When things get popular and they've been around for a while, you start to be like, it's not cool anymore. Dude, they're not changing anything. Like I'm not going to go on the extended rant, but they built the story up. They peaked at Endgame, and then they have to restart the new, basically, season of events, and it's going to, you can't, it's not like F9 where they're going to go into space, and except they went into space. But you know, it's like it's got to come down and build the story again, and they're building and they're introducing new characters to the main public. A lot of the comic nerds already know all these people, but I think they're doing great, and I trust what they're doing, and until they disappoint me, like Moon Knight disappointed Curtis. But you know, I think people need to relax, and if you think about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Johnny Walker decapitated somebody with his shield. Like, you're like, oh yeah, you know, they're like, oh yeah, because in the Daredevil, spoiler alert, in the Netflix show, Kingpin, you know, like basically decapitate somebody with a car door. They're like, they're never gonna do that on Disney. They did it with a damn shield. What are you talking about? They did it. So I mean, yeah. So I mean, it might not be as.
It wasn't the same.
I know it might, but they've been talking.
Fair point. That's a good.
Yeah,
good point.
and they also have started doing parental warning stuff and parental settings on Disney because the new guy
that made me so happy.
Yes, it made me. A lot of people are like, but the guy Bob Chapek, the guy who's screwed a lot of stuff up, I feel like he doesn't have a respect for a lot of the culture and the way that Disney has done things and treated their filmmakers, and he's a money guy. But the plus to that is he's not like, oh, the children. He's not. He's just he's a numbers guy. So that's all of a sudden you got him screwing other things up. But when push comes to shove, hey, dude, let's get some of that.
Adult money?
Yeah, I was gonna say Deadpool money. Let's get some Deadpool money to where before Bob Iger you'd never see that. So it's like yeah.
You know, I did like a parallel. You know, when you got what's Captain America replacement? What's his name again? I'm sorry, it was
John Walker.
John Walker, yeah. So you had the scene in Civil War where Captain America is basically hammering Iron Man.
Hold that thought, Curtis. I know you're chomping at the bit.
No worries.
Collect your thoughts, and we're going to pass the torch to you in a second. Go ahead, Michael.
And then just that same kind of thing where instead of like hitting Tony Stark in the face, he hits the arc reactor instead. And it's almost kind of paralleled in that scene where John doing the same thing, but instead he doesn't hold back like Steve Rogers would.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, took that guy's head off. Probably we saw blood on the shield. They are willing to go to a certain point, so I can see why people might be concerned. But I think they're doing a lot of fan service by bringing people like Vincent D'Onofrio back, bringing Charlie Cox back. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, don't you ruin the Daredevil we love already. You know what I mean? Street level stuff. So, but Clint, of course.
All right. No, I'm sorry.
Curtis, what do you? You're absolutely right, dude. Like, and I appreciate the fan service a lot. I'm like, please give me more things like that. Curtis, what are you chomping at the bit for?
This is this is the idea. This is what worries me. This is so we don't even know if this is the same Daredevil in the same universe. Okay, they can wash all that stuff away. Okay, we know it's Charlie Cox and we know it's D'Onofrio. They can be variants. They can do all that stuff. And the Netflix doesn't mean anything, especially if they want to get rid of Iron Fist and the Defenders shit. Stuff. I haven't seen them, but I've heard they're terrible. I don't know. But regardless, that we don't know that it's if they're variants or not, or if there are Daredevils. This is what bothers me so much because we don't have street level heroes in the MCU. We don't. Moon Knight was a street level hero. Shang-Chi was a street level hero, and they just made them fight fucking dragons and all this other stuff, that happened, but that's not the core of the character. Like in some of the comics, like maybe that, that happened, but that's not the core of the character. They were street level heroes. Moon Knight's brother was a nurse murderer, and he had to chase him down in the streets. Like it was like you were saying, like noir detective stuff. Okay. And then they changed it to this other thing. And this is the same company that wants to make a PG-13 Blade movie. And we're wondering if they're going to change Daredevil. It's going to happen. It's not going to be the same. It might be close, but it's not going to be the same. They're not going to do a lot of that stuff.
just as
I don't
gritty,
know.
as dark. Yeah. I mean,
Yes, the way it should be. There are
yeah,
some
absolutely.
heroes that are not for
But
kids.
the alternative is not having a Daredevil. I'd rather have a variant Daredevil than not have a Daredevil.
That's true. But I see what he's saying.
Then
Like
redo
Daredevil
'em.
doesn't. Yeah, Daredevil doesn't save the world. He like literally patrols like
Yeah.
3 blocks of Manhattan. Like,
Yeah.
it's, it's like you stay out of these 3 blocks, or I'll beat your ass. Like,
Yeah.
I get that. Like that's
Because that's
what
all I
he
can do.
does.
I can beat the shit out of you.
Yeah,
Like that's what I can do.
And you
Like-
want to see those like back alley scenarios where it's like the people are getting mugged, the people who are the little people who need to be saved too. So yeah, I share the same concern for losing that heart of, the heroes for hire, the people on the streets kind of thing. So,
Right.
Yeah, and then like Haley Atwell's Hawkeye character can be getting like in a fight, and she could be getting beat up, and then Charlie Cox can jump down and help her for a second, or vice versa. She might help him. I don't know.
Oh, Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah.
Steinfeld. Did I
Yeah.
say, who's Haley Atwell?
Peggy Carter.
Oh yeah. No,
She's fine.
Peggy Carter's fine.
Bring them both in.
Yeah.
I'm willing to watch anything
Do it.
that they're
Yeah.
in as well. So
Yeah,
But that like they want to. I mean, just think about this. Whenever you're worried, like thinking about this Daredevil stuff, they want to make Blade PG-13.
I haven't heard any
Like,
official,
what-
but is that what they? I was hoping they
Yes.
were going to go R.
Yeah, no.
with it.
Feige said they want it. Yeah.
Ugh.
They've already said Daredevil or Deadpool 3 is going to be R, but they're like Blade. No, we're going to make that a PG-13. We think we can pull it off and blah blah. It's like no.
I mean they got pretty dark in Doctor Strange, like on some scenes, and like
Well, yeah.
I mean it was a little part, but still, like if they take it to that edge for the whole show, then
when you watch Wesley Snipes at a-
we saw Black Bolt
yeah.
Brain pop.
face an untimely demise.
That
Unfortunate. That was the best part of the movie. Was that
Yeah.
was that right there? Like, dude,
that was
you
awesome.
got
but-
Neo'd.
but
It got pretty serious real quick.
You got
when,
Neo'd.
when you watch the other ones and you got Wesley Snipes at a blood rave, like they're vampires. They
So
like
good.
like the whole point is that like you can't do that. Like you just can't do it. And that's the thing. Make Blade R-rated, and then whenever he does the crossover stuff, he's PG-13.
That's a good point.
But in
I-
his
Yeah.
movies, make him R-rated.
absolutely.
like-
I agree with that.
I think we should sit back and all just collectively appreciate that we got a Guillermo del Toro Blade 2 movie at some
The
point.
best.
It's so good.
Oh man,
So good. So good.
unbelievable. That it's I wasn't even a huge Blade fan, and I saw that like 3 or 4 times in theaters. It was so damn good.
Yeah, I was just like,
Blade
oh, this
2,
exists.
Blade 2 is just
It was amazing.
Oh,
It's one of my favorites. It's like, wow, we get
Yes.
we get this. Yeah.
he makes the vampires scared. Like it's such a good movie.
That's very true. Very
what-
true.
What do you guys at home think about this? Are you excited to see Daredevil on Disney Plus? Are you worried that they're going to tone it down? Are you not worried because they've been doing it great on other projects? Like, let us know in the comments. We want to hear what you think, and we will respond to your comments because we like talking a lot. So we will do that. So, let's talk to the chat. What's up, gang?
Bobby was saying she hadn't seen Moon Knight. That was from earlier. She hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
Or no. I'm sorry, Loki. She hadn't seen Loki earlier, but she loved him in the movies. Yeah, if you haven't seen Loki, it's definitely a really good show. It's really trippy. It's really, really great show. Like I said, it's kind of a slow start, but it picks up exactly where the movies stopped, and it follows that version of the character. So again, it's not our Loki that died. It's an alternate version of whenever they went to in Endgame when they went to steal the cosmic cube. That Loki gets away with it,
No,
and you follow
Avengers.
him.
The first Avengers movie.
Yes, no, but in Endgame, no. That in the first
Oh, yeah,
Avengers,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
our
Yep,
Loki.
Yep.
So in Endgame, when they go to the alternate timeline, or wait a minute. So that's more time. Wait a minute. Wait. So that's more multiverse shit.
Yeah, for
And
sure. 'Cause
we've just said America Chavez is the only one that can physically travel between universes. But they create. Oh no. They
Created
went
an
back in time and they created.
alternate.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that is different. Okay, so that works. Okay, I'm fine with that. But
What was your favorite Disney Plus series so far?
I mean, probably Loki. It's like I said, it's the one that I was like when it ended, I was like, when's the next series? When's the next movie that's going to talk about this? And it really hasn't yet. And
That's
it kind of pisses me off.
Agreed. Like I really wanted them to address that at some point, and it's like I really like. I was like, okay, Doctor Strange is a perfect time to bring this up and bring in the shows and you know, obviously WandaVision. I mean, Doctor Strange 2 is basically like an extra episode of WandaVision, and I was like, bring in the TVA, just a mention or something, you know, like
just show them going like, wait a minute, we've got, you know, Spider-Man's in double universe, like just a small scene where they're like, we got Spider-Man's too many Spider-Men over here, and then we've got too many Wandas over here. Like, what are we gonna do? You know, and then, or something like that. You know, that doesn't have to be.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, give me something, give me the stuff I love already. And
and go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, I feel like we're just such a holding pattern right now, where it's just like I want it to take this direction. Like saying Loki, like loving that, like same as you, like when it was like season 2. Okay, now you got me hooked. You got me ready for this thing, and then now like I watch these movies and nothing's going on. That's all.
And I hadn't seen Lovecraft Country, and then after Loki, I watched it and I was like, oh my god, now I want to see more. Because everybody was like Jonathan Majors, and he did a damn good job.
Right.
But I didn't know, you know, anything about him, and I watched Lovecraft Country, and I was like, okay, yeah, let's do this now.
He's phenomenal, dude.
Yeah, he was great.
He's supposed to be in Creed also. He's the villain on Creed.
Creed 3 coming out?
Yeah, on the new Creed, and he's apparently got ripped for that. I love that he's like, he can play the character in Lovecraft Country that's like you know, soldier guy, and then playing Kang. Or the what is the
He Who Remains?
He Who Remains, yeah. Playing He Who Remains is completely different kind of thing, and then he's going to be like a boxer in Creed. I'm like, this is cool. This guy's like really diverse, which is kind of cool when you think about the idea of different versions of Kang that he's going to be able to play and play them completely different because they've had different lives or whatnot.
Like,
so,
sorry, go ahead, Curtis.
No, go, you go.
Charlie, you what do you think? Or Matt, what do you think? Matt?
Right as always, Matt. Right
All
as
right.
always. Always with great insight with him.
Strong silent.
I was gonna kind of like strongest silent. Love him. I was gonna like just the choices he made like as Kang were, it was just so fun to watch. And I was gonna transition that into, you know, the fact that we had talked about Doctor Strange earlier. We brought it up a couple different times, and the fan casting of that, we finally got, spoiler alert once again, John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic.
Oh yeah,
and everybody's been clamoring for that. You know, that they've been like all about it. And after seeing it, it was the most vanilla, boring choice I think I've ever seen.
Dude,
like,
I felt the same way.
I don't want it at all. I had a friend of mine, Nate Sinclair. He had a great fan cast that until he brought it up. I don't know if you guys ever watched The Good Place.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay, so it's William Jackson.
Ted Danson. Ted Danson.
Ted Danson. Honestly, you know what? Not a bad choice either. William Jackson Harper. He played Cheadle and or Cheedy in The Good Place.
Let me see.
He was he was like this guy right here, Cheedy.
You know, the guy always
to do him for
Mr. Fantastic. William Jackson Harper, because he was the very nerdy kind of like kind of like, you know, not very socially adept, like you know, and that's what you want from Mr. Fantastic. This guy's smartest man in the world. He's not charming. He's not like he's a scientist. He'd rather have a whiteboard and explain something to you. And then I feel like, you know, Krasinski almost like got this role and he just showed up and just didn't do anything with it.
He just read it. He just read it.
Yeah.
Like that's all he did. Like I was like, yeah, and then I was like, if that's how he's gonna play the parts, and
I was like, yeah.
No wonder they didn't pick you, bro. Like,
it was a little rough. It was a little rough.
Like just because he's smart doesn't mean he has to be boring.
And you can make boring interesting. Like
yes.
And he didn't do that. It's like he made like no choices. And when you see somebody like
not Jeff Goldblum.
Oh god, you know, honestly,
too bad he's
already grandmaster.
Yeah, and you know what, man, what a role too. I'd watch the whole movie of him playing that character, hands down. But yeah, I need something, and Kang the Conqueror, to see what Jonathan Majors did with that. Like, that's
so you bring up a good point. You went down the line of my point, and I don't know if you did on purpose. So a lot of people were like, those fucking people were pissed off because Kang ended up being a black guy, and Kang ends up being Reed Richards or Franklin Richards.
Right.
Franklin Richards. And so they're like, so what is Fantastic Four gonna be black now, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't care about any of that. Like, just as long as the character's done well, who cares?
Yeah,
but
for sure.
like, but that's the thing too, though. Like, that would
line right up with it, I guess. Yeah,
that would
perfect.
That'd be perfect. Yeah, like,
I was like, they changed Kane from purple to black. How dare they?
How dare they?
those dirty bastards.
He's supposed to be purple. It's like, all right, I think it's gonna be all right. I think it's
Get Grimace to play.
Yeah. But,
What is that guy who played Grimace doing these days?
well, he did Barney for a while,
Well,
but he's probably retired.
not a lot of purple rules out there these days.
California Raisins a little bit.
A little bit. Big late 80s, early 90s push for that actor.
Yeah.
Well, we'll come back to we're going to come back to Fantastic Four in a little bit when we're talking about John Watts during the Star Wars stuff here in a second.
What?
Honestly, there's some theories too that possibly that they are getting Krasinski to direct, and that's maybe why they got John Watts off the project so that Krasinski could direct, because he did A Quiet Place and nailed it. So it's like, okay, I kind of want to do this, I kind of don't want to. Hey, I'll do it if you let me direct, which would make sense. I'm like, hey, that
Fuck yeah,
it adds up. I don't know if it's going to happen. I saw that I think they were talking about that on Campia, or somebody was just theorizing that, and I go, hey, that's really smart, because that's something that would happen, is say, hey, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I'll do the role if you let me direct.
Right.
And then I'm like, hey, sorry, dude.
I won't do it well, but I'll do it.
Yeah, like, sorry, dude. Sorry, John Watts. You can't do this anymore. It's like, it's okay. I kind of had something going on anyway, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But real quick, we're gonna go over this. We're talking about comic book characters, and I read the story. I might not even normally include this into the show just because, like, we got plenty to talk about, but it leads up to an interesting conversation, I think. So I'm gonna talk about 20th Century Studios is developing a reboot of The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen for Hulu. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was a fantasy pick released by 20th Century Fox in 2003, based on the comic book series of the same name from writer Alan Moore and artist Kevin O'Neill. Set in an alternate Victorian age world, it followed a group of famous contemporary fantasy, science fiction, and adventure characters, including Captain Nemo, Dorian Gray, and Tom Sawyer, as they teamed up on a secret mission. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen comics were first introduced in 1999. Stephen Norrington directed the original film adaptation, starring Sean Connery, which is reputed to be the reason he retired from acting. So miserable was his experience on set. This comes to us from Deadline. Man, that was a long sentence. I don't know if you noticed there was just a few words, but a whole bunch of words. Man, Sean Connery, what a good-looking hat. Dude, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, old movie. I saw it in the theater. It was all right. And they said it might be the movie that made Sean Connery go into retirement. What title to have on your on your movie. I don't know. I read this. Hold on. What do you got, Curtis?
No, but yeah, it was that movie, or the fact that he was a bazillion years old. Like, come on.
Well, that too, but he was just like, if this is the way it's going, I'm out. But this got me thinking. I liked the original League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Okay. Do we need this? Do we need this movie?
No.
Or show? I don't even remember if it's a movie or show. And is this going to end up like Jupiter's Legacy, which is just like, this is a big pile of dog shit? Are people just people are complaining like, oh, it's all about comic book movies. We can't do any of our artsy movies because nobody cares. Is this just one of those movies that like somebody said, hey, we own this property. We own a streaming service. We need to make this so that we need more content. We need, like,
Yes.
what's the deal? Is comic stuff oversaturated, or do we need to move on to other things? There's so many questions I have. It just makes me wonder why. That's okay. I'm done.
I mean, yeah, I think it's absolutely why he quit acting. This guy was James Bond. He used to get flown to every place, every beautiful beach in the world, like, because back then they had to literally take you to a location. He grew up in that age of filmmaking, and he's like, I'm in Venice, I'm in Spain, I'm all over the place. And then he probably went and did League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and he's like in a room with, green everywhere, and he's like, where are the other actors? What is happening right now? And he's like, no, there's a monster in front of you. You got to yell at it. And he's like, I'm done. I'm done with this. I mean, I can see exactly why he'd bow
He
out
would
after
quit.
He's like, no, there used to be people around when I acted, not anymore.
Well, I'm sure he's having a cigar and a glass of scotch somewhere right now. But the real question is not so much what the hell is Sean Connery doing? It's, do we need this? And like, you don't want to say, no, let DC and Marvel just do what they're doing and we've got enough, because then you miss out on The Boys. Well, The Boys is something different. We're going to talk about The Boys in a minute. The Boys is something different because it's a satire, but it comes from graphic novels. So if we just say, nah, we're oversaturated, we don't need any more, then you have stuff like, what if we could do a cool Spawn movie? Or, they tried to do a Hellboy remake. That was pretty terrible. But it's like, where do we draw the line? Do we not draw a line? Do we just have to say, hey, I guess we're going to make all this crap and see what sticks and what doesn't? I don't know. It's so many questions. I almost can't make a coherent YouTube video out of this. Curtis, what do you got?
So that's the the original I did not have that big of a problem with. Apparently, a lot of people just like it. But here's the deal: it was written by Alan Moore. Alan Moore is a spectacular writer. You probably have read his stuff. He wrote The Watchmen. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
The Watchmen is one of the few graphic novels or collections of comic books that is required reading in some English classes. Now, think about that for a minute.
Wow.
Like, we've barely recognized comic books as an art form, maybe 10 to 20 years now, but it's a true art form that has been around for literally longer than the written word has, sequential art, and Alan Moore is a master of it. He has never wanted any of his stuff to be turned into movies. He didn't even want the Watchmen movie, which I think was great, turned into a movie. Now, for what you're saying, though, is with the artsy crowd, like, if they do this, and I re-looked at the article while you were talking about it, it doesn't say if it's going to be a show or a movie. If it's a show and they do it well, this could be perfect for the artsy crowd. Like, it'll be a good comic book show. It'll be good for the artsy crowd. It's not going to be what everybody wants, but neither was the original comic. But if they do it well, it's going to work. Do we need it? I mean, probably not. But if you can adapt anything, like if you can make Alan Moore's work stand out on screen, which I think Zack Snyder did in The Watchmen, it's definitely worth it to reach to the masses, because hopefully they'll go back and read the original trades and stuff like that. But just be careful, guys. Like, don't like, don't turn, like, the original one was fun. It was great, but it's not what it was. It's not what Alan Moore wrote. It's, it was a fun adventure movie. It's like, it'd be like watching the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes and then comparing it to Arthur Conan Doyle. Like, you'd be like they'd be like, wow, look at this, and they go back and they're like, what the hell? What? This is the most boring thing in the history of the world. Like,
Right.
Where does he fight the giant guy?
Like interpretation,
okay?
kind of a thing.
Yeah. So keep it original, and it'll be good as long as it's done well. Like, these stories have lasted this long for a reason. They're,
True.
These stories, don't go away because they're good. If you keep it that way, they will not go away.
I agree with you. I think as a series, it would actually be cool. Like, I think you can make this as a series. Like Umbrella Academy is cool. You know what I mean? And it's something interesting, and it's not necessarily the super mainstream thing, but it's something that you can get into. It's like a niche comic thing that you get into and you watch religiously, and you're like, sweet, season 2's coming out, and you're excited. If they do it right, it could be very cool. I think, as usual, casting is going to be a huge part of that. So I hope they nail it. I just started reading the article, and then I went, oh, I'm getting that feeling again. That feeling uh-oh, Jupiter's Legacy. No. I would just
So bad.
it's like almost like heartburn. I'm like, oh, this is something. I'm just getting this weird feeling. Go ahead, Curtis.
But no, but so that's the thing too. Since this is not a huge IP,
Mhm.
right? This is not a huge. We know it might be known, but it's not like a huge. Even the movie was not like a huge hit. Like get unknowns, get people that fit the roles, let it fly under the radar, and let it be a cult classic or whatever hit. Like they're not going to do that. They want their mega hit so they can get more subscriptions and stuff. But and it'll be it'll keep rolling for sure. And then you can go past the comic and stuff like that as long as you keep it classy. But they're probably not going to do that.
Michael, what do you think? You have any thoughts about this?
Well, I think you were saying it's not a huge IP, so I think because of that, there's not a huge expectations behind it as well. So they might be able to actually make a decent thing. It would be like Umbrella Academy, like that. I was not well versed in those comics. I've gone back and looked at them since the show, but I didn't have a set thing of how it was going to be in my head. So when I was watching the show, I was just like, I really am enjoying this, And because of that, I went back and checked out the graphic novels. So it kind of gave me interest in what was already there. And I felt like I was getting something new with the show as well. So I was like, I kind of got two different versions of this. And I think League is probably a great opportunity to do the exact same thing. Where there's not a lot of people clamoring or Die Hard. They're like, it better, Tom Sawyer, they better have blue eyes or I'm going to lose it. They could just get somebody who literally fits the role and make a decent television show, So I think it's a perfect IP to use to set something up like that. There's, like I said, you get your diehard fans of Star Wars and Marvel. These people, us, we're going to be angry no matter what. So
just
they made Tom Sawyer a Japanese
We're gonna
guy. This is bullshit.
I swear, if the Invisible Man is purple, we're hitting the streets. We're riding.
I just thought it was an interesting. I was like, have we peaked?
He's not invisible. He's translucent.
Get it right.
I thought it was. I thought it was an interesting question. Have we peaked? Have we had enough comic book content, or should we keep it coming? I think there's a lot of great stories out there to be told that haven't been told, and I think if we start thinking ahead of time and just getting an opinion ahead of time without giving them a chance, I think we're shorting ourselves.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I mean, even what Road to Perdition is a graphic novel. When
right.
you look at
That's
certain things like that, where it's these are things that people had no clue about, and they become great movies. And opportunities to see things translated to screen.
There was a great quote. Who I can't remember who said it now, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was like comics are 50% superheroes and then 50% everything else. He's like, but they're the only industry where it's 99% publicity for superheroes. There are literally hospital comics and romance comics and Western comics, and there's these whole and then we've got literally 100 years of them, 100 years of these stories that are just some of them are just trash that they throw out there to make some money, but a lot of them are really good stories. And that's what I mean. Don't they're all there. Let's tap into what we have that's been ignored or that's been that anytime you read something or see something and you're like, man, that would make such a good movie.
Dude, I watch
do
Riverdale.
it.
I watch Riverdale. You're
absolutely.
speaking of the choir.
There you go.
Archie freaking comedy. Whoever would think.
Whoever, yeah, exactly, right? I mean, but turns out we're good. I trust these graphic novel writers any day before I need to see another, W.S. Anderson Resident Evil movie. Who keeps giving that guy movies? Let these people who are writing brilliant graphic novels. Yes,
Edward Lauder does. Edward Lauder does.
All right, well, let's move on to the next. What do you guys think? Have we peaked? Have we peaked? No, we haven't peaked.
We begun to fight.
Yeah, we have. Good call. All right, well, let's jump to the next story. What do we got here? How we doing in the chat? Bobby, you still there?
He's dead.
Oh, Bobby. Say hi to Sean Connery for us.
All right, here we go. Paramount's global stock surges 15% Tuesday after Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway buys in. Buffett often looks for value, investing in stocks he likes during a downturn like the one we've seen recently. Its first quarter 2022 results saw subscriber gains at its flagship streaming services Paramount Plus and Pluto, topping expectations. Paramount said it reached 62 million total streaming subscribers for the first quarter, almost 40 million of that Paramount Plus. This comes to us from Deadline. Holy smokes! Warren Buffett invested in Paramount? Oh my God. Now, we got to ask the question, is he a Top Gun fan? Is he a Star Trek fan? Is he what's he impressed with?
It wasn't that Mark Wahlberg movie that came out. I'll tell you that much.
It wasn't Lost City with Sandra Bullock. I just saw that yesterday. I was like, man,
Not a fan? I haven't seen it yet.
I mean, it's all right.
More like
It was
Paramount
entertaining.
minus.
Oh, no.
Got him.
Burn! No, I mean, it was all right. I've met Sandra Bullock. She was very nice, so I'm not going to really crap on that movie, but it
saw her in a
was
store.
just entertainment. It was dumb
It's popcorn. Little
popcorn movie.
popcorn
It was a fun romantic comedy, basically. Romantic adventure movie. But Paramount Plus, I like Paramount Plus. And this started as the well, first off, who's ready for Top Gun? Anybody?
I'm pretty excited about it.
I'm hyped. Curtis?
Oh,
Curtis doesn't like pretty boys.
You don't want to go play sand volleyball in jeans with us?
He doesn't like adventure movies with Tom Cruise. He doesn't like Tom Cruise. It's great. So
volleyball
I've been waiting.
jeans in the sand, bro.
I've been waiting all day to ask Curtis if he was excited for Top Gun. I knew I would get a fun response. All right, now that we got that out of the way, I'm excited, and it's coming out soon. It's coming out this weekend. But Paramount Plus, I mean, you got Halo. You've got a whole bunch of mediocre Star Trek shows, and
You got The Challenge from MTV.
and you got the new Star Trek show with Captain Pike is supposed to be good. Strange New Worlds or Strange Worlds. I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard it's good. But
Captain Pike.
but yeah, I like.
So we've named 3 things that are on Paramount Plus so far. Star Trek.
No.
Twice.
The mayor of Kingstown. No, the mayor of.
Must have really left
No,
impression.
it's
with
Jeremy
you.
Renner. It's not mayor of. It's mayor of Easttown. No, that's
Mayor of Westtown.
No, it's mayor of Kingstown. There's 2 of them. One of it's Kate Winslet on HBO.
Mayorstown. Mayor of Mayorstown.
Yeah.
Mayor of Pound Town.
Dude, the show is good. Mayor of
That's
Easttown.
Cinemax Plus is what that is.
Is Jeremy Renner, and he's basically a semi-corrupt middleman between the prisons and the police and the gangs. And he's like, somebody wants something, then he's like, okay. Then he goes and bribes the gangs, and then they make the people in the prison behave. And then if they don't give what they want, okay, we need TVs and all. If they don't do what they want, then they start riots, and he's like a weird middleman that handles all these things. It's a really good show.
Riveting.
Yeah, it's super good, dude. It's really good. But
So Paramount Plus, you're saying it's
Paramount
worth
Plus
it.
is
It's
solid.
worth it.
It's not that expensive. It's like, I think it's like $3 or $4.99. It's a cheap
That's a pretty good
show.
deal.
It's got a lot of shows. I'm gonna watch it because it's got Star Trek anyway, and I need to know if they accidentally make a good Star Trek. Like, I have to watch the shows and just be like,
probability wise, it's gonna happen.
well, I think they finally did. I just haven't started it yet. But even Discovery, I started watching that, and I liked it all right. And then they start out okay, and then they just tank and whatever. Anyway, yeah. But the new Halo show, it's okay. But this is one of those ones where I've got several subscriptions, and I've thought, is this a waste of money? And it's slowly gotten to where, like, I keep watching movies that are streaming on this channel, and things that all of a sudden say, man, I'm glad I have this channel, to where it's becoming one of my solids. You know what I mean? Like, it's not quite HBO Max, but it's like right under that. You know what I mean? And I got Disney Plus, Netflix, HBO Max. I don't know. Netflix is starting to wane.
Yeah,
And this is not even the popularity contest with the media telling everybody that Netflix sucks and they're dying and all this, the way they like to do about Marvel. All of a sudden, if you get like 36 articles about something, and then everybody jumps on that ship and takes that opinion as if it's their own, like they do with Marvel. And they're doing that with Netflix. And they've done that with a lot of, they're going down. Like the fact is, they have a bunch of content that is mediocre, and that's the problem with Netflix, and they need to fix that.
Yeah, but banking on that Stranger Things season coming up for sure.
Yes, sir. Curtis, what were you going to say? You look like you were about to say something about Paramount.
So here's the deal, so I don't have Paramount Plus, but it has been acquiring IPs, stuff like that, like we all know is going to happen. But if Warren Buffett buys it, anybody's going to buy it. That's why it went up 15%. But I think that if he did see a value in it, he saw that they were not acquiring necessarily, but creating their own IPs. So you talked about Halo. Like they could, there's a lot of problems with that show. Apparently, I have not watched it. I don't have Paramount Plus, but a lot of fans and stuff have issues with that show. But it's still the freaking Halo show. Halo has been around for 20 years now, and it's got a huge fan base. If something takes over comic book movies, guess what it's going to be? Video game movies done right.
Done right. That's the way to put it, for sure.
Comic book movies were not recognized as an art form. And then they're starting to become that. Video games are still not recognized as an art form to a lot of people. And whenever they're done right as movies, people will be like, oh, wait, it's art. Okay. But so they've got Halo. They've got Yellowstone. They've got Mayor of Eastwick or whatever you were talking about. I mean, they're building IPs, whereas Netflix is kind of not. And then Netflix is saying, well, maybe we'll start sticking ads in there. When that was the whole purpose and driving force of Netflix being created as a streaming platform. And it's just the stupidest thing in the world for Netflix to do that. Like, if they slowly, and they have, incrementally raised my price more and more so that they don't stick ads in there, I probably would never get rid of Netflix. I wouldn't even think about it. They start sticking ads in there, and I'd be like, what am I doing here?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Agree, 100%.
So,
Halo's been great for me. Every time I needed to fall asleep, I was able to put it on and I'd fall asleep almost immediately. So I've been a big fan of it for that reason alone. And
I didn't understand ASMR until I watched Halo.
I was like, Paramount Plus, this is worth $3 a month. Put Halo on, and I am out immediately.
That show is called The Mayor of Kingstown, and it's written by Taylor Sheridan, who did Yellowstone and all those shows.
We've talked about it before. It sounds very good. I just don't have Paramount Plus. I want to check it out.
Yeah, man, it's really good. So anyway, for anybody who cares, I was just curious. I was like, hey, I like the idea of Paramount winning. What do you guys think? Do you like Paramount? Let me know in the comments.
Give us another show that's on there. We've named like 3 of them. Star Trek were 2. So if you have recommendations, let us know. I'd love to.
But I just want, and that's the thing too. Like, competition breeds the best results. Like, that's the thing. When you don't have competition, Netflix or whoever's on top, you just kind of got, even if it's like a top 2 or 3 riding on top, like, they're not scared. They're just gonna they're gonna pussyfoot around, like, here the masses want some more food. Let's just throw out some trash, But whenever somebody's coming up nipping at their heels, they're gonna start making good shows again, and it makes everything better for all of us. Whenever WWF and WCW were fighting like dogs for Monday night,
that was
the best wrestling in the history of the world.
That's very true. Absolutely agree.
It makes me wonder. They've got a few shows that are quality, and if you're making shows that are quality, and you don't charge too much, but you only have a few shows that you really focus on,
that's worth it too.
That's basically Apple TV right now. They've got some really good shows. They don't have a ton of shows, but they have some really good ones. And then you have Netflix that has just got so much shit.
So much garbage.
Yeah, it's so much shit and very little quality stuff. Like all of their movies, anytime they release movies, and now they're starting to release movies in the theater. They've decided they're gonna start putting movies in the theater first. And people, now that we're coming out of the apocalypse, have realized, hey, when you release a movie day and date, like Top Gun, like Tom Cruise sued them because they were talking about doing it because they're like, hey, we need to push our streaming service. And I'm like, no, dummies, haven't you seen what they've been doing? Like Warner Brothers just lit a whole bunch of money on fire, buckets of money on fire,
Absolutely.
hundreds of millions of dollars by releasing all their stuff on HBO. I'm not doing that with my movie. They tried to do it with Scarlett Johansson's Black
Widow, yeah, they didn't.
Black Widow
They
movie.
didn't do the same day release. Though,
Yeah,
did
day
they?
and date.
That's right.
And pretty much anytime you do that, you're just leaving money on the table. So if you play a movie in the theater, it's going to make money. If you release it for free on TV, you're not going to get that many subscribers. But that's the thought. They're like, we can do that. We'll push our subscriptions, and it'll be great. And it doesn't. It just turns into a loss of money. And so yeah, Netflix is starting to realize that, hey, we're going down. We need to release movies in the theater. You've got the Warner Brothers people doing the same thing. They're like, we're going to David Zaslav, the new CEO that came in from Discovery, and he's like, yeah, we're releasing stuff in the theater. We're not doing this HBO Max business. Like the theater's where you make money, and then after it's done, then you release it on your streaming.
Maybe
streaming
Elon
service.
Musk.
Well, yeah,
will
you
buy
get
it
the
and save us all.
exclusive. But that's the thing with Netflix though. You don't need to release movies in theaters. You don't need to do. They're working too hard. Just make quality content again. Like they've got some
Truth.
Like they're working too hard.
They need to release the movies, and here's what they need to do. They need to make good movies. What they're doing is they're overpaying people to be in shitty movies, and then they put their thumbnail up, and then people click on it because they like The Rock, and then they watch this movie and it sucks ass, and you're like, and if you sit through the whole movie, you think, I can't believe The Rock was in that.
Yeah.
But then you're like, yeah, they gave him 200
Talking about that Ryan
million
Reynolds.
dollars. Yeah, all of them.
So
Yeah,
bad.
like all those movies are terrible. And I'm like, how did they get three of the biggest actors in the world to be in one of the shittiest movie ever? And it's because they gave them a bunch of money and didn't care about if the movie was good. They are very focused on the thumbnail because that's what makes people click. And
It's like, you became the very thing you swore to hate, Netflix. So Netflix is like, well, from my opinion, the Paramount Plus is the bad guy. I'm like, oh, Netflix, I have the high ground. It's over with. Okay.
Netflix is like, nobody hates money.
Yeah, exactly.
You're stupid.
like
I got to spend more of it for my subscription service, though. Jeez, I mean, give me good stuff. You're right, and Curtis is absolutely right. Give me quality content. That's what's going to push it, and the competition is good for them because man, they are in a spiral right now. Netflix.
No Remorse, I think, was that Michael B. Jordan movie. I'm like, dude, you should have a lot of remorse. That movie sucks.
All remorse.
Yeah, that's just terrible. But that's all they do. I wish somebody would tell them, hey man, why don't you make a good movie? And jeez,
The part 2 is coming out. Remorse's Revenge is coming out. Oh, that doesn't look any better. How'd that get a seat? And then, of course, part 3, Remorse is a horse, of course, which is gonna.
That's a good one.
That might get the franchise back on track. We'll see, but wait and see.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck
Could
chuck
chuck wood?
I'm listening.
Well, let's blow through these Star Wars topics real quick so we can get
light speed?
Yes, sir. We're not necessarily light speed, but we'll talk about them. But I'm gonna be less rambly on these last ones. I promise. Here we go. When asked recently in a Vanity Fair interview, Lucasfilm studio head Kathleen Kennedy said, "We have a roadmap. Although Lucasfilm's big screen return is unlikely to follow the same relentless cadence as before. A movie from Jojo Rabbit's Taika Waititi and 1917 screenwriter Christy Wilson Carnes will likely arrive first." This comes to us from Vanity Fair. Yes, sir.
I'll take lead on this one.
Are you want to take lead on it? Are you excited about Taika Waititi being in the Star Wars universe?
I am. I think the guy knows what he's doing at this point. A little less screen time for himself personally. Sometimes, he gets a little over the top. Free Guy or whatever. A little too much Taika in that. But then we had like a Rogue Squadron movie on deck at one point. Remember? And then of course we all saw Wonder Woman 84, and they were like, nope, you don't get to make movies anymore.
You talking about Patty Jenkins?
Yeah, because that was that was supposed to be next on the docket. Was supposed to be that Rogue Squadron, and they're like
Rogue Moon. I think you're talking about Rogue Moon.
No, Rogue Squadron.
No, it was called like Rogue Squadron. It was like
Rogue Squadron. They were going to make a Rogue Squadron
a whole
movie.
X-wing fighter pilot type.
And Patty Jenkins.
Yeah.
Patty Jenkins, who did the Wonder Woman movies, was going to make this movie, but.
Then they watched one of her movies and they were like, you're not definitely.
They're not going to admit that. They'll never admit that, but that's what happened. They're like, oh.
So like I guess that was next, and then the Rian Johnson trilogy. They say that's on the back burner now as well, and then now they're saying that they're not doing trilogies anymore. And I don't know. I feel like someone needs to like tell Kathleen Kennedy she's talking on the phone to somebody, but they just unplug it. I don't think she knows what direction.
They need to Feige that shit.
They need to Feige that shit. They need to Favreau that shit. Like, give it to Jon Favreau and give it to Filoni. Give it to these guys. They know what they're doing. And, I'd love to see what Taika can do with something. But we need no more legacy characters. I think the shows can handle that. I think it's time to go Old Republic. I think it's time to, it's just a wealth of stories to be told in this universe. And we're grasping so hard to keep the Skywalkers around, and let them just kind of go for it. It's like at this point, it can't be worse. It can't be worse than Solo. So let's see what you got, bud. I'm excited for it. Let's see what he's got. That's what I'm saying.
That was the deal. So with watching Rogue One was like the best Star Wars I've seen since Star Wars. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
It was like,
Yep.
And it was because it was new characters. It was in the universe. Yes, it's in the you do have elements of Star Wars. You don't have to completely go off the grid, but man, bring some other things to light. Bringing in Thrawn, that's going to be super cool.
Can't wait.
And you got a whole universe.
That's
of
the
things
trilogy. That's the trilogy to make. The books are already written. Just do it.
So good. The Timothy Zahn trilogy. I believe.
Yeah.
Curtis knows what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about, and I think it's exciting. I like that they're like, okay, how do we twist this into being related to Palpatine, or how do we, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah, if he pops up in the Obi-Wan series, that makes sense because it's
It's like, hey, I'm Palpatine. Everybody, I'm dead. Excelsior.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, it's me, Palpatine. I'm just like, oh, come on.
Exactly. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll
Did
see.
you
how it
want a
goes.
hot dog?
Exactly.
I think they could breathe some new life into this, and Taika Waititi's hilarious. Yes, that would be so funny. Disney owns the rights to Stan Lee. Stan Lee just starts showing up in like Pixar movies and in Star Wars, and just like
It's
what?
me, Stan Lee.
my worry.
Stan Lee is going to be an Avatar. What?
I love it. I mean, someone got paid to write the line, Palpatine's back somehow. That was the line that got put in a Star Wars movie. And someone got paid to write that down, and then it went through like a boardroom, and then they got on set, and then an actor had to look at it and then probably say, can you show me the paycheck again real quick? Okay, yes, I'll say that out loud, because what are we doing? So
That reminded me so much of one of the 70s Godzilla movies. What is it, like, or 60s or 70s Godzilla movies, where the main characters, like, they're fighting, and then all of a sudden, like, the other guys show up and they're like, we escaped somehow, and they're like, all right, let's go. It's like, and it worked. Like, it worked.
Enough
but
said.
it's
Yeah.
like, it's like 30 or 40 years later, guys. Like, you can't come up with something.
I
Like,
can't come up with something. Anyways, it was like a huge briefing. There's like a huge briefing scene. They're like, all right, gather around. Palpatine's back somehow. Moving on. All right. Anyways, it's like, guys, come on. Some guy's kicking his feet up at a pool, like an infinity pool somewhere, wrote that down on paper, and they paid him for it. Like, What are we doing here?
It's the same guy who creates Monopoly tie-ins. It's the same guy.
Son of a bitch.
Well, most people think most people like the way that Taika Waititi's direction went with the Thor movies. Geez, Ragnarok is one of my favorite Marvel movies. I love that movie. I watched that movie again not too long ago, and it was a day off where I was slept in and I was just laying in bed. Like, I'll watch this again. And I'll just start it, and then I'll get up and I'll feel like I'm not doing something that I should be doing, and I'll jump up and go get on with my day. I stayed in bed and watched that whole movie. I was laughing my ass off, and I was like, dude, I forgot how fantastic Ragnarok is. It's just a beautiful, hilarious, fantastic movie. And but there's some people that don't like that. They're like, no, I don't want to have fun. I'm, and you're changing the comics. Like, Thor's not supposed to be a comedian. He's serious in the comics. And I know you don't know much about Thor, Curtis. Thor's his favorite character. I'm just messing with him. But like, you know what I mean? But it's like, yeah, but he's in the comics. He's serious. He's got a Thor tattoo. But
nice.
But this is a movie version, an adaptation. It's supposed to be a fun family movie, and it was, and like, get over it, I think. But do you think I know you like Thor Ragnarok for sure.
Curtis, you like Ragnarok? You're a big fan, Curtis?
We don't even have to go there.
Did
he does love it.
Yeah, I mean, like, as someone who's a huge fan of the comics, like you genuinely like. I think it's great for sure. But
yes. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I love Ragnarok. It's probably my favorite of the Thor movies. Like, they didn't get him right in the first one. They didn't get him right in the second one. I don't think that the second one is as bad as everybody makes it out to be. But like it's not how I would have made it. That's not how I think the character should have been portrayed in the movies. But this is Marvel Universe or MCU Thor now. Okay, right. And it's working. Like, I'm fine with it. That's the thing. It's different from the comics. It's a different universe.
The MCU, Marvel Cinematic instead of the comics for sure.
So
which pisses me off that they said that
616
the MCU was 616.
What
the hell? They said it twice. Like, what? No, it's not.
Get your house
it is
in order,
not.
Feige.
Yeah,
I agree. I did not like that either. They're like, you're from the 616. I was like, no, they're not. That's incorrect.
No, they're really not.
They even addressed it in the comic books at some point. They addressed, I think
yes,
it was Gwenpool or something. She was talking to Doctor Strange, and she mentioned that there's a Marvel Cinematic Universe where she's from. They call it 682 or something, but it was very much addressed in the comics that the cinematic universe is not 616, which is the
Marvel.
The Marvel.
Yeah. That's the main
Marvel timeline. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, are you worried that they're gonna Ragnarok Star Wars?
I'm not. I enjoy Taika Waititi's movies. Pretty much everything I've seen.
And it's like you would only be worried about that if you're a straight up Empire fan and you like the dark stuff. Because anybody, all these other movies, you've got 3PO showing up and like, and it is fun. Yeah. It is silly, like a Ragnarok.
Right. But I can see why fans are worried. I know that plenty of fans are of Thor, or just in general, are worried because Taika Waititi he's been quoted as saying, I just want to take the I'm paraphrasing, mainstream Thor storylines and tear them down, and I want to create something new. Okay, like, he's just basically like throwing it all away and making it his own. Now, he's done well with one movie for Thor.
Right.
Okay. We'll see how Love and Thunder goes. I think it looks well. Like,
it's
not like they're not drawing. Yeah. I'm inclined to agree.
From the comic ripped straight from the panel.
Exactly.
So
it's not like he's doing that, but and at the same time, he's got his own style. We can say he is toned down for Jojo Rabbit, which was a fucking amazing movie.
Great movie.
He can tone it down a lot.
And you got a different side of Chris Hemsworth too. You really get to see his range of what he's capable of, and he reinvigorated his love.
Pulled
for
him
the
out.
It
pulled him out. Yeah, it pulled him out of the box for sure. But at the same if it's a movie, and I think that's kind of what Star Wars needs a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, You know, I'm a Godzilla fan. Like they've had tons of directors directing different Godzilla movies, and it's just different to see different aspects. You don't have to like them all, but it's still in the same universe. It still makes sense as long as it's logically consistent. We're all going to be okay. But like a Taika Waititi trilogy, I don't know if I would want that. They already said they're not going to do trilogies again. Fine,
Right.
but like yeah, for sure. Like you know, like just do it. Like what's it going to hurt?
Yeah, it's not going to get
Like
any worse.
it's not as if you don't have emo like Luke Skywalker dancing around or something crap like that. Like like you're gonna be fine. You don't mess with legacy characters,
You don't talk about
and it's in the
Tobey Maguire
same
like that.
universe. Yeah, like it does. Yeah, it'll be fine. Some people will like it, some people hate it. It's okay. Guess what? Star Wars is still gonna make money. No.
Yeah.
There's a long Vanity Fair article that talks all about the state of Star Wars right now, and it was really good. I didn't even read the whole article. They're like, but they talk about that, and they talk about that they're focusing a lot on standalone stuff and TV stuff, and they really discuss about like how
They should.
George Lucas, well, they're having a lot of success with the TV stuff. They're realizing, and it's no surprise because George Lucas serialized everything anyway. That's what he wanted to do in the first place. You know what I mean? And so,
Mandalorian definitely.
Yeah, he
came
based
back.
it off of Western. He based it off of Western serials.
Yep.
Like that's what he. Yeah.
Tune in next week. Is it gonna? Will he make it?
Yeah,
Blah blah blah.
for sure.
That's what he based it on. But also in that article,
Guns are 300. Back in the old West, bullets are 300 miles away. Can he beat the bad guys? I got like two of them. It's the old
Can
West.
he
Like,
beat
come
the
on.
bad- Yeah, I was like, yeah, probably.
well, another thing mentioned in the that article is
What do you get?
John Watts is off of Fantastic Four, but he's not wasting any time. Instead, he'll be creating a coming-of-age TV show for the Star Wars universe. Like Stranger Things, the show is said to be heavily influenced by Steven Spielberg's adventure films of the 80s like Goonies or E.T. the Extraterrestrial. According to a report from Vanity Fair, the show takes place during a post-Return of the Jedi reconstruction that follows the fall of the Empire, the same as The Mandalorian. But its plot remains a secret. Its creation. I don't know what just happened. I had a technical difficulty. The plot remains a secret. They don't know what this show is going to be about, but basically, they're looking at some kind of possible Stranger Things, Goonies, Stand By Me situation because John Watts is casting a bunch of 12-year-old.
I don't like this at all.
Yeah.
Anything I just heard. I had not heard this. I'm not.
No,
I'm not.
it,
Star Wonder Years? Is that what we're doing?
I don't know. It like what is it going to be? A bunch of teenagers going on a trip to
What?
trying to drive. It's
What are they
codenamed.
doing?
It's codenamed some. I can't think of what it's codenamed, but the code name.
National Grammar Rodeo.
Yes.
Okay. I don't. I mean, well, first of all, we know he got taken off Fantastic Four, left Fantastic Four.
Right.
Said he needed a break. And then I was excited for him to direct Fantastic Four. I thought that was going to be, something low to see. And then he leaves, said he needed a break from, directing. Now he has this new project. So what's really going on? And nothing in that article had me excited.
He's like, I need a break from these little Marvel movies so I can go be a Star Wars director.
He's going to direct a little film. You probably haven't heard of it. It's independent Star Wars.
He's already done three Spider-Man movies. He's like, I've already mic drop. You know what I mean? I've already proven myself. Now it's time to go do that. I think it's cool.
Passion project.
It is a passion project, and I've always liked stuff like that. Like, I like Stranger Things. All right. I loved Stand By Me. I loved Goonies. So if you're gonna do a standalone movie, you got freedom to do whatever you want, and you grew up as a big fan of Spielberg, and you want to make an E.T. kind of a movie and make some. Maybe I don't know if the guy's got kids or not, but if I had kids, I think it would be fun to make a movie that they could get into and take me to that place.
It's like, hey, I found a dead Greedo by the train tracks. You want to come see it?
I bet he shot first. I bet he shot first.
Exactly. I feel like I just don't need to see a coming of age story after Return of the Jedi. Like it's just make that movie. Don't make it a Star Wars. I don't see where it fits.
I think that fake title, is a Simpsons title.
Yep.
It's a reference from a Simpsons title where he gets a fake driver's license and they go off to like the fair or something like that. So it's like that could be code for.
So they're going to be stealing a Coke Cruiser and they're going to go.
Yeah, they're going to steal a Millennium Falcon and like and take off, or some pod racers or something, and go take off. All I gotta say is just
how Solo lost the Falcon. That's what happened. That's how Solo lost the Falcon, and how Ray got it.
That's
so
dude.
right
that
now.
would be so awesome if that's how it disappeared. That's what happened. Yeah, just don't do it on Tatooine. Can we go to a place that doesn't have sand?
Yeah,
let's just get away from sand.
I agree with that. Let's. There's plenty of worlds out there. Let's find a new one.
That's pretty much the consensus from everyone online. It's like, can we even Dagobah, just anywhere.
Pretty
Let's
sure in the
get us
first
out of
movie
here.
they said the furthest place from the exciting part of the universe. Well, I'm on that planet.
Hey.
Well, apparently not, bro, because everything's going down on this double sun desert ball.
Yeah, you know where it's really cheap to film? The fucking desert where nobody wants to go. Like, so that's what like.
That's very true.
But like, I'm not like. Like I kind of like the idea of this, but here's the deal. Like he's like it. I would be fine. So we had Battle for Endor, we had Ewok Adventure and stuff like that.
Right.
They are not the best freaking Star Wars movies in the world. But as kids,
Nice way to put it.
you know, you know, like, but as kids, you know, like it was fun. Even my kids watched them and like they're like, oh, look at this, you know, like
Sure.
they're kids, you know, like if it's not built for us, hey, you know. Guess what? They might be making a Star Wars show that's not built for 45-year-old men.
Blasphemous.
It might. I'm just saying. It could happen.
That's a good point. Actually, you know what it is? That makes sense. Like, you know, usher in a new generation. It's a good way.
Yeah.
It's a good way to look at it.
But at the same time, when they're basing it off of Stranger Things and ET and stuff like that, that's cool. But here, like Clint and I talked about this a little bit last week. I think it was after show. Like the '80s thing. It's going now. They'll probably catch the tail end, but like that '70s show ran for about 8 years.
Well, they're making the '90s show.
90s is coming in, which we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing goth '90s in 12 minutes. So we gotta talk fast on these last couple of topics.
We're both wearing Jinkos in the studio right
Yeah.
now. So.
And I got to put a shitload of makeup on. It's 90s coming hard. We're ahead of the curve. So it's fine that they get this in, but like they got to realize, like, yeah, the 80s were better than 90s. That's just fact. Okay, deal with it. But the 90s nostalgia is coming. The 80s nostalgia is dying. Like, move on, life.
We're almost to the 2000s nostalgia. I mean, Backstreet's
Yeah.
back.
No,
you know. I mean,
say no.
you know?
Say no.
It's coming. Are you guys excited at home about the John Watts series, the potential of a kid show, like a Spielberg-esque kid adventure? I'm excited about anything, but I like everything. So let me know in the comments. All right, real fast, we're going to talk about season 3, The Boys. Thanks to delays from the apocalypse, we've been waiting a long time for another season of The Boys. Now, we finally got a season 3 trailer. Yes. We finally got a season 3 trailer. I haven't seen it yet, I'll confess. Curtis doesn't watch the show. So we're just going to ask Michael really quick what you think about this trailer, and then we're going to skip on to the last topic. So how are you feeling about the Boys season 3 trailer?
I mean, you know, anytime I'm getting more Carl Urban, sign me up. Okay, that guy's been killing it for what, decades? Lord of the Rings, Dread, Star Trek, everything. I mean, the guy's, in The Boys, he's phenomenal as Billy the Butcher. I mean, Daddy's Home for sure. Season 3 looks great. I haven't seen a single episode of Supernatural. So for me, what's his name? Something.
Justin Ackles.
Yes, he is coming in. He's basically the Captain America.
Yep.
He's coming in. But I know the guy who plays Homelander is that guy's got to be a legitimate psychopath because he sells it so well, and the show doesn't pull any punches. Like if there's a show out there that's like we do not care, we're not worried about it. Please make sure there's not children in the room. This is the show. I've been a huge fan of it. I'm super excited for season 3. And somebody who hasn't read the comics either, I think they just keep me actively interested in everything that's going on and everything production value. It's phenomenal. I'm excited to see it. I even watched the animated series they just released. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's still so great. They did like Rick and Morty. That Justin Roiland was able to do an episode. They had different artists and different like stories to tell, and that was a blast. And if you like what they're doing so far, I which I have, I don't see being disappointed by this show anytime soon. So
I'm excited. I know there's a lot of eager beavers out there waiting to see this show. I posted a video talking about Justin Ackles being added to the cast, and I have that on my YouTube channel, and I have a bunch of views on that video.
He's got a brewery just up north, by the way.
Yeah. Yep. And so like, you know, I will post about certain Star Wars things, different things. This one caught me off guard, and one day I looked and I go, holy crap, I have a lot of views on that. So that just lets me know it's like a litmus test, you know what I mean? Wow, that people are excited for this show. So check it out if you haven't yet. Curtis, what were you going to say?
No, I was just gonna say. Let me ask. You know, I have not seen the show. I want to check it out. I'll catch up on it this summer, probably. You know, right after season 3 hits. It seems like it's been going on for a while though. Like it seems it's been like on for like 6 years or something like that. Has it been that long, or does it just seem?
Well, the
pandemic caused a big lag. Where season 3 has taken a long time to complete, and so a lot of people have gotten bored and forgot about it, or sleeping on it now. But now the wheels are starting to turn, and they finally have finished everything. There's everything from CGI stuff to everything is slowed down.
But
it's for production to where it's like, oh, sorry, Disney's using these animators.
Servers,
everybody's using like all of the studios and stuff, and being able to get these shots done has been difficult. I watched a interview about it. Anyway, so it's taken forever, but they're finally getting there. So we will see that. And then last subject of the are you guys excited about The Boys season 3? Let me know in the comments. Last subject is a new Predator.
It is a new Predator.
What comes before Predator? Well, Prey, obviously. For its next installment, the 5th in the long-running horror action franchise Predator is going back to the beginning, and not like to the mid-1980s when the original Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger was set. This film is set hundreds of years ago and tells the story of the first Predator's visit to Earth, where it battles a group of Native American warriors. This comes to us from Screen Crush. Is this exciting to you, Curtis?
I want to say yes. I watched the trailer. I really want to say yes. This again, just so we talked about with Star Wars, with Marvel, we know the universe. Okay, we want to see different stories within this universe. I am super excited. This is a great idea. Now, I want it to end where the Native American warrior kills a predator the same way that Arnold did, and we learned all those tricks from Native Americans, and then used them in the 1980s. That would be amazing.
You're talking about all the booby traps and all that business?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's how he did it. That's how he did it.
But
wouldn't he never look for them though? If they learn from.
But that was in the past. Hadn't done that yet. This is a prequel. This is 300 years ago.
That's a different Predator. Come on, man.
Well,
we don't know how long they live.
Like a video feed or something.
That's like Sean Connery going after him. Come on now. But like that, we know the universe. We know the aliens. We know that's to me. Every alien movie doesn't need to have Sigourney Weaver in it. Like every Predator movie, it doesn't have to be the same fucking movie over again. This is a great idea. This can reinvigorate the franchise. I'm excited. However, I haven't seen a good Predator sequel, I think, since Predators. I think Predators is probably the only one. Predator 2 was crazy and amazing,
So,
but like, yeah, I mean, but it was, I wouldn't say it was good, but it was like you're like, oh my God, what the hell is going on here? like, but it was, but Predators was like a damn good sequel. Otherwise, like, there's a lot of Predator movies out there, and they just always let me down. But this, like, that's what I mean. It's not I mean, it is the same story. Like, you can't deviate that much, but like it is. You can do this forever. Go through time. You could have him hunting cavemen. You can have him hunting people in the future. Like this is the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, people were worried, like, but yeah, he's just gonna go. They're primitive. They're just like, dude. But you got some Comanche Nation gonna whoop some ass.
Look how Arnold
killed
him. Arnold killed him.
Well,
With
yeah,
memes. Like that's not funny.
Yeah, Arnold took him out just like that. I agree. Like I said, we know the universe. Take it so far out that we're seeing something new, which I like that. Taking it back to like Indians and things like that. It's like I just want to see Predator do some badass shit. And you know what? Some people are gonna hunt him. They're gonna be hunted. That's what I'm here for. Please make it R-rated, please. Because I heard somewhere, but I don't think the person was correct. They were saying it was going to be PG-13, which I hope.
It's Hulu,
It's
so
Hulu.
It's going to be a Hulu. Yeah, so it might be.
But this is a Hulu. This is like a Hulu release, like a big deal. They're doing this like a big deal, like.
I thought it was I thought it was going to be a theatrical release.
Yeah,
when I heard
can't.
about it.
I don't have my notes in front of me right now. It might even be in the theaters.
Really?
Like it's yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know why they don't do this anymore. Like have an R-rated and then a PG-13. Like I don't know why they can't do that. Like they did it for a while. Like whenever DVD was big, they would have not only that, they would have an R-rated and a PG-13 and then an unrated version. On DVD. Like you could do all these different things, and like they can do that with streaming now. It's like what version you want to watch.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
That's
And if
true.
you want to pay more for it, like I'll pay more for the unrated version. Like most of the time, but like. I don't know why they don't do that anymore. Like you don't have to generalize everything anymore, especially if you're doing it specifically for streaming. Because it's like, yeah, well, hey, that was a fucking good movie. My kids would enjoy that. But let's watch a PG-13 movie. They'll be fine with it.
All right.
Here's the scene where Predator gave him balloons, so we didn't get that in the R-rated version.
Yeah, I mean,
well, Predator.
he shoots
Are you
jelly beans.
You guys at home excited about this Predator series or movie rather? I am. I'm excited. I think it's going to be awesome. Guys, if you haven't yet, check out our Patreon site, please. And patreon.com/Clint likes everything. We've got some of our patrons watching right now, and I appreciate your support. You're the one that helps us get all this cool software and do all this. So without your help, we wouldn't be able to do this. So I appreciate it. If you're new to the page, like, share, subscribe. If you've never checked us out on YouTube before, here's this. All right. Appreciate it, man. Right now, I just wanted to thank Michael. Thanks, man, for joining us, dude. We had a great time with you. Dude's hilarious. And
Thanks for having me. Can I do a quick plug for?
Absolutely. I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah.
Like, plug anything you want. What you got, man?
Well, you can come see me on Tuesdays. I'll be at Shooters at 8 o'clock on Tuesdays, and at Anderson Mill Pub for Chris's Mic on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock, right down the street from here. So you can come check me out on Tuesdays doing stand-up comedy there. Also, the new Cap City is opening up soon, and you should be able to see me there pretty soon as well. So swing by. Michael Navarrete, thanks for having me here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, we had a great time.
This is stuff I'd love to talk about anyway, so it's great to be able to actually chat with, like I said, other people other than my cat about things. And thanks for having me. I hope to be back at some other time, but I really appreciate it, guys.
Do you have Instagram or Twitter or any place where people can find you online or even YouTube page, whatever, a YouTube channel or anything where people can find you?
OnlyFans. I was just about to plug my OnlyFans. Exactly.
Or do you have a Mexican dessert page called OnlyFlans?
Wow.
Yeah, I tried to buy that. I tried. Okay. I just muted Curtis. I just muted him. I tried to buy that.
I do now. I do now.
Yeah.
I mean,
I tried to turn him back on, but it won't come. There he is. No, I really tried to buy that, but it was gone. But anyway,
that's too
but yeah,
bad.
what's your social so they can find you? And then we got to dip because we're supposed to be streaming.
Check OnlyFans, but it's pretty easy at Mike the Nav. Mike the Nav at Mike the Nav. It's Twitter, it's Instagram, it's everything. So check me out there. And once again, thanks for having me. I hope to be back and do this again
Absolutely.
soon with you guys. Appreciate everything.
Absolutely, man. And thank you guys in the chat. Sorry, we had a lot of topics. We usually like to talk to you a little bit more, but we had a ton of topics. We had to blaze through them so that we could go and do 90s Goth Night. The Craft versus... I almost said Sting. The Craft versus the Crow. That's right. So we're gonna take a quick break and maybe put on some eyeliner. I don't know, and leather pants, and we're gonna be right back. So thanks, guys, for watching.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. We're gonna be here every Friday. Everything Entertainment News. This is Clint Baker signing out. Curtis, thank you for hanging with us as usual. Bobby, James, Jedi Master EJ, everybody out there, we love you guys. Peace.